I don't know if I'm live. Let's see. We're live. Let's go. Let's go. NFL draft. Katie, what's going on, man? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Are you guys pumped up or no? What's funny is like I've been talking to a lot of my my brother, a couple of my buddies, and honestly going back and forth with let me try to turn this music down. Some of my buddies, it doesn't really seem like the excitement levels there this year as opposed to, I mean, obviously last year we had the multiple first round picks, and the year prior we had the top pick at spot number 2. But it definitely does seem like there's a level of calmness. By the way, can you guys hear and see me okay? Don't know how it's looking on the channel. I'm looking at the software right here. T first, what's going on, bro? Let's go, Broward. Let's go. I want JSN. Yeah, man. So the big talk right now with Jackson Smith and Jigba, obviously that report came out saying that the Jets were heavily linked. I think it was Matt Miller from ESPN that said that there was some talk that it could be a smokescreen. We'll see how it plays out. But, I got to be honest. I think Green Bay, ironically enough, makes a lot of sense for Smith and Jigba there at 13. And if he doesn't go there, I'm really, really hoping he doesn't go to New England at 14. So, if he's on the board at 15, I'm 1,000% interested. Let's see. Jack Campbell's a beast, man. Iowa, he's a beast. If the Jets didn't re-sign Quincy Williams, I would be all over this, right? Like 100% sign me up. But with Mosley on the big contract, with Quincy now on the multi-year deal, I don't know how much of a fit Campbell would be at like the weak side linebacker position unless they want to stash Campbell for a year, sit him behind Mosley. But Jack Campbell's an absolute beast. He's a tackling machine. O-line. Yeah. Yeah, no, O-line, to me, that's the number one priority. I think obviously, if the Jets had the number 1 overall pick, it's like kind of a little bit of a different story. But if I could just realistically have anybody in this class, Paris Johnson would be my guy. Jalen Carter, of course, as well. I don't think he's going to fall, but Paris Johnson, realistically, I'm hoping he's there. I don't think he's going to be. I really feel like the Bears at 9. Obviously, there's some talk that hey, maybe Kyler Murray really likes him with Arizona. So maybe at 3, I don't know if that's smoke, but what do you guys think for offensive lineman? Broderick Jones, I think if I had to take a guess, Jones is going to be the pick. That's just me like guessing, right? Like, are you gonna? So that's the plan. That's the plan. The only thing is, here we go. Here comes good. Here, where's the remote at? So yeah, that's the plan. I definitely plan on coming to at least one game up in MetLife. But I'm down in Florida, so I have to kind of plan appropriately with like a hotel, rental car, tickets, flight up, and everything like that. So it's a little bit more tricky than just driving 15 minutes down the road and hitting up the game, and also just trying to figure out like trying to plan everything accordingly. But no, I plan on going to at least one Jet game. I wasn't able to make it up last year. One Bucks game because I'm excited to see kind of how the Bucks look with Baker Mayfield and that whole team. Because I moved within Tampa, so I'm actually like literally 10 minutes away from the Bucks training camp. So I actually want to hit one of those up. Yeah, man, Chiefs are they're really packing it in. I feel like every time I look at the TV, it's just 15 jerseys all over the place. And by the way, all right, actually, let me see. Did that? Yeah. It's a good take, Jonathan, dude. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, no, dude, I appreciate that. And by the way, today's actually my birthday, so I'm just kicking it, hanging back. So for those of you guys who are in here just chilling, that's totally cool. I appreciate it. Sports MC, what's up, dude? Hey JC, what about a trade back and drafting Branch? We need a free safety, dude. I would love that. I think there's been some talk about the Jets potentially trading up in the draft. To me, honestly, I would much rather trade back, try to recoup some future draft picks. I mean, oh, here comes Mahomes with the trophy. And by the way, I don't know how far behind I am from you guys, but man, I think trading up is you can make an argument saying, hey, if you want to trade up, you would, you're essentially like win now, so might as well kind of have like the F the picks mentality that the Rams were preaching for a couple years. But on the flip side, we gave up a lot of capital this year and next year for Aaron Rodgers. We don't have a third round pick because of the Elijah Moore trade. Back down to the 1 second round pick. We don't have a 7th round pick because of Chuck Clark. Don't have the 6th because that's going to Green Bay. We do have an extra 5 though. So I think for me, oh dude, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. This is sick, man. This is sick. So yeah, no, for me, I'm trading back. I appreciate that, Carlos, man. Thank you. Either safety or linebacker in the second round. What about defensive tackle though? Keanu Benton's a guy from Wisconsin who I really, really like. I think if he's there, and by the way, we Travis Kelce, Mahomes, they're all just kind of hanging, talking at the podium. I'll unmute it in a second. I don't know how like loud I can crank it because of copyright, but we'll see how it goes. Only a couple seconds delay. Got you. Yeah, I feel like every draft, these past couple years, there's a lot of theatrics that go on. All right, here we go. Carolina's on the clock. 9 minutes, 52 seconds. Here we go. And by the way, I was right before I clicked on the stream. Carlos, dude, I appreciate that, man. Thanks. My brother's working. Man. He wanted to come over, wasn't able to. Working today, tomorrow, Saturday. Next day off is Monday. But we're actually thinking about starting a podcast together. So I have to figure out some stuff on the technical end. But that'd be like a once a week type of thing. No. Okay, this isn't a new trade. But yeah, no, he's at work. Mitt, dude, you didn't have to do that, man. You didn't have to do that. Keep your money. Happy birthday, man. JSN or O-line at 15. Much love to you, bro. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much. I think that's the consensus mindset right now. Broderick Jones, Skoronski, Paris Johnson, Darnell Wright, though. How do you guys feel about Darnell Wright? Talked to a couple people saying mid first round, some bottom round 1, early round 2. I don't think he gets out of the first round. I think Buffalo, interestingly enough, makes sense for Wright. I think at 15, I do like how Wright can step in and play right away, like immediately. And obviously, the Jets being in the win now, small window, timetable, I think it does make sense. But 15 might be a tad bit too high. Same argument with Cansey, the defensive tackle from Pitt. Safety is weak. They all play corner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's let's see, any good coverage safeties that we can get later in the draft. One guy who I like, I mean, I'm not pounding on the table saying that hey, he needs to be a first round pick or a second round pick, but Brandon Joseph, free safety from Notre Dame, who's at Northwestern. I've talked a little bit about him before. But I feel like when you talk about defensive IQ, when you talk about being in the right place at the right time, let's see, 7 minutes, 30 seconds. Carolina's still on the clock. By the way, who's going number 1? Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. I think it's going to be Bryce Young. All signs are pointing in that direction. Although I do not understand the hate, or I guess doubt that CJ Stroud has really like accumulated over these past couple of weeks because the S2 tests and everything like that. I love CJ Stroud. I think he's going to be a really, really solid pro. I don't think he's going to be like a top 5 guy, especially right out of the gate. And of course, it definitely depends on where he lands. Obviously, coaching staff, weapons around him, but I think 2-3 years, CJ Stroud's going to be like a he's going to be in that top 15, top 13, top 12 range. I really like CJ. But yeah, to answer your question, Evil, I think Brandon Joseph from Notre Dame makes a ton of sense. But that's just me, though. Bruce, I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man. Whippler, yeah. So the interesting thing is, so Connor McGovern re-signed. That was huge. I was pumped up. It actually came out the same day that Aaron Rodgers got dealt to the team. And, we're all scrambling. Obviously Aaron Rodgers is like the big headline and whatnot here. But it comes out, I think it was later that night, or it could have been early the next morning, Connor McGovern's contract, it was like just over $1 million. Like, that is an absolute steal. McGovern plays. He's steady. He's solid. He's he's not an elite center by any means, but he's definitely not a bad center. We're looking at just over $1 million for a middle of the road guy who knows the system, knows the team, keeps the continuity in place, and he actually plays. So he's reliable. I think for me, I probably, with that understanding, I probably wouldn't take a center with these early picks, because we have a guy right now that can just step in and play in McGovern here. T Fergs, dude, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thanks, bro. Thanks. What right tackles you like? Darnell Wright. I think, from an experience standpoint, he starts at right guard, right tackle, and left tackle. Obviously, I don't want to say he's a guy that has an extremely high ceiling, but I look at Darnell Wright because of the experience. He's by the way, the pick is still not in. We're approaching 4 minutes here. Pick is still not in. 4 minutes and 30. But Darnell Wright can just hit the ground running, right? I think whatever team he lands on, there's not going to be this long onboarding process where it's like, okay, he really has to get accustomed to the NFL game, all these different situations, and, the learning curve isn't going to be there. I think with Wright, you select him, he's plug and play pretty much immediately for a bunch of teams out there because of the experience, because of the size too. And just watch him work at right tackle. I think for me, he's my number one option there. Who do you think will draft? I'm thinking I want it to be Paris Johnson. I think there's a chance Skoronski falls to us, but I just have a hard time seeing the Patriots passing on him at 14. It kind of sucks that New England is sitting there right above the Jets here, but I think I'm going to go Broderick Jones. 100% right, dude. 100% right. Of course, there was so much hype with like Zach Wilson coming in when Saleh first got the job. Like, there's been some pretty exciting stuff that has happened with this Jet squad. Picks in. Who's it going to be? No, so there's definitely been some exciting times, but nothing comes close to this. Nothing comes close to Aaron Rodgers. It's insane. Paris Johnson, yeah, he's an absolute beast. He's so Max, thank you, man. Thank you. Submissions. I'm thinking Broderick Jones. I think he's going to be there. Mitt, you're going CJ? Okay, dude. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Maybe you'll see the super chat, JK. Happy birthday. Let's go, Jets. Can't see at 15. Hope we get Paris Johnson. Yeah, dude, he's such a safe player in pass protection, man. I love that about him. And he's another guy too that has had multiple starts at multiple positions. He's Ohio State's starting right guard as well. I mean, to me, not only is it just, does he have positional versatility, but he's a guy that's played on either side of the center. I think that's really, really important. My number one priority, because we traded for Aaron Rodgers here, it's got to be making sure Aaron Rodgers has enough time to throw, making sure our running backs have holes to run through. I mean, the last place I want to be is, watching Aaron Rodgers pick himself up off the turf. Guys, I don't want to dive into the rabbit hole of, talking about injuries and stuff like that. But, that's the last place I want to be, where we were last year. All right, Panthers picks in. Here we go. Bryce Young is the pick at number 1. Expected. It was expected, but still cool to see. I don't know. I always get so hyped for the draft. Damn, man. Bryce Young, number 1. All right, now here's where everything starts to come into question, right? Everybody's been talking about Young, like, going to the Carolina Panthers past couple weeks. It's a lock. But I mean, man, Houston, we're obviously hearing the CJ Stroud rumors. We're hearing Will Levis rumors. We're hearing Wilson rumors, Anderson rumors. Gosh, I don't know what the Texans do. If it was me, I think I'm going CJ Stroud. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, when is game 1, by the way? When's game 1? Congrats, man. Congrats to all the Knicks fans. I mean, Cleveland looked Knicks just completely out-rebounded them. Cleveland just couldn't hit anything. I was expecting that series to go a little longer, but New York just pretty much mopped the floor with them, to be honest. Jesse, thank you so much. Panthers logo. I like the Panthers logo. Insane. That would be insane. But the question is, if we trade back, there has to be a team willing to come up. So unless a quarterback falls, or I think the team that could trade up, obviously not for a quarterback, but the Giants moving up for a wide receiver, to me, makes sense. Like, you can make an argument they should stick in the bottom of round 1, go with a Quentin Johnston or something like that. Maybe Zay Flowers falls, but I could see the Giants wanting to move up, go select Smith and Jigba, and watch them work. I mean, the Giants wide receiving depth chart is not that good. It's just not a lot of talent there. And also Minnesota for Hendon Hooker, I could see making sense. I live in Carolina, and these boys want a Stroud. Yeah, Houston has 5 minutes left here on the clock. Trade down, take Anderson. No, you didn't spoil it. No, I'm not a big Knicks fan. I'll keep tabs on him. My best friend's a Knicks fan, who's actually coming into town tomorrow, which I'm excited about. It should be fun. Diehard Knicks fan. So he's, Jets, Mets, and Knicks, but the Knicks with him is just like diehard. Picks in with the Texans. All right, here we go. They're interviewing Bryce Young now. Man, I think it's going to be CJ Stroud, to be honest with you. Who do you guys got Houston going with? But no, Justin, I'm not like a big Nick fan. Thomas, dude, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Happy birthday. I've been watching your videos for years. For sure. Yeah, I definitely plan on going up. The game I get tickets to, I'll definitely, say, give you guys the date and everything like that. If you guys want to, come chill, 100% down. DT help. Yeah, that could work. Does the experience scare you a little bit with per se? Kancey is interesting If we didn't have Quinn and Williams, I would be all over it. But for me, the guy who I want playing next to Quinn and Williams, I want him to be a big run stuffer, right? Take on double teams, do the dirty work. Somebody like Al Woods, who's still on the free agency market. What is Schefter talking about here? And by the way, I still haven't. I need to figure out what's going on with the Eagles and the Cardinals. That like I saw that there was huge breaking news, like literally right when I clicked live. So like they're trading picks here, but obviously it's not in the first round. Thanks, Tyler. Devils, yeah, are they playing tonight? Stroud for sure. Johnson or Skaronski. Man, if the Jets land either one of those guys, I'm totally pumped up. Totally pumped up. Yeah, that's insane. I actually did not know that. I knew the Mets and the Jets, but I didn't know the Knicks won it then too. Let's go. No more tanking for us. Anderson, then Levis later on. Makes sense. Makes sense. I think that Stroud JSN combo for Houston would be nice. But it's like they're, I don't know. Personally, I'm going Stroud, right? They have a lot of picks this year. They have a lot of picks next year. Just land the quarterback. Don't overthink it here. I know Caleb Williams is coming out next year, and there's obviously so much buzz around him, but take CJ, don't look back. I think the S2 thing is a little overblown. That's just my opinion. I mean, for me, Stroud has so many things that you want: accuracy, decision-making, mobility, size, arm strength, stats, numbers, a great college resume. You listen to him in interviews, guy's totally fine. He hasn't been, there's no sort of, off the field red flags or anything like that. Stroud to me is, there's a really catchable ball. Yes, he's played with a lot of talented guys on the offensive line. All right, here we go. Here's Goodell. I'm thinking it's going to be Stroud, man. CJ Stroud. So much speculation. Okay. Yeah, it's just selecting those injury prone or guys that were hurt a lot in college in the first round. Always a lot of speculation there. Yeah, that's true. I just don't, I know Saleh, he preaches like pass rush. And Cansey's a really, really good pass rusher, but so is Quinnen. And obviously we got, multiple guys off the edge: Johnson, Huff, Lawson, Franklin Myers as well is still on a big deal. Although he did restructure his contract, clearing just over $3 million, which is really, really cool. I do think I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's like the Pitt thing. I don't know if it's because Cansey's a bit undersized. People are calling him like the next Aaron Donald. I feel like we get that comparison every year with at least one defensive tackle. And I get it. The pass rushing upside is there. And I guess you can make an argument too that Ulbrich does rotate a lot of guys in. So we can go out and sign a veteran. Yeah, we brought in Quentin Jefferson, but I still want that big run stuffing tackle or defensive tackle. I mean, picks in. Let's see. I will be taking. Awesome, man. Awesome. That's I really got to get up there for a game. Stroud, yeah. I don't. To be honest, I know Stroud isn't like considered by like a lot of the draft analysts and whatnot as like a perfect prospect or like this elite prospect. I really like him. I think the comparison to Jared Goff back when Goff was at Cal, just somebody who's accurate, you can beat you within the pocket, beat you without outside the pocket. I like CJ a lot. I think Houston made the right choice here. And by the way, Arizona, there's been a ton of talk that Arizona could trade out here. Titans, maybe. Do the Colts shoot up a single spot? I don't know. I would like to see Tennessee move up because in turn, yes, you're jumping up, and you're selecting the player that you want, but you're also potentially taking a quarterback off the board for the division rival Indianapolis Colts. I think that makes a lot of sense. So that would be really, really interesting. But there's 4 minutes left on the clock here for Arizona. Please, somebody follow us. Yeah. Skoronski's still on the board. All these guys are still on the board, man. I know we're only 2 picks in, but whatever. OT or wide receiver for the Jets. Cheers from Brazil. I'm going OT. I'm going OT. I don't think wide receiver is like the wrong choice. I don't think it's, by the way, can you guys hear me okay? I'm kind of far away from the mic. If we go Jackson Smith and Jigba, if we go whoever it is, Zay Flowers, are the Jets worse? No, not in the least. Are the Jets taking a step backwards? No, not at all. This is, to me, is a win-win. But I do look at Aaron Rodgers, understanding his age, 39 years old, understanding that it takes a quarterback to get the football to a wide receiver. And in order for that quarterback to get the football to a wide receiver, he needs to have protection. Looking at some of our offensive line players on the O-line coming off pretty significant injuries. Max Mitchell with the blood clots. I feel like we're pretty thin at tackle. Whereas wide receiver, I feel really, really good about it. I'm excited to see what Hardman's going to do. Alan Lazard on the 4-year multi-year deal has experience working with Rodgers. Garrett Wilson, obviously former, offensive rookie of the year. Mims is still on the roster. Corey Davis is still on the roster. We still have the rest of the draft too. So if they really, really, really want a wide receiver, you can go target one in round 2 and round 4. We've seen guys in the middle rounds have a really big impact. Who for Arizona? Oh, hold on. Here's Schefter.
With Houston coming back up to number 3, it looks like, to trade up to the Arizona spot. Houston's going to move in to number 3, get number 2, go number 3, and have its pick of the top defensive player in the draft. The Houston Texans are moving.
Houston just traded up to 3, but you guys probably already know that because I think I'm lagging behind. What did they give up to move from 12 to 13 or 12 to 3? JSN to Chicago. That makes a lot of sense. Man, they haven't updated the graphic. I need to see what Arizona's getting in return. It does make sense though for Arizona to move back. If you're starting a brand new regime, new GM, new head coach, a lot of holes all over the roster. Buda Baker requested the trade. DeAndre Hopkins, he could be on the move. That looks pretty likely. Coming off a pretty disappointing season. I mean, they're in the picking third, or we're picking third for a reason. I think it makes sense. But who does Houston take now? Will Anderson or Wilson? That was another massive question. Gosh, man, I love the NFL draft. And I appreciate you guys just chilling and hanging out. I know it's some like big grand grand thing over here on the channel. We're just kicking it. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. Gregory, man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, JSN of Houston. They could have probably got him at 12. I don't think they would have moved up to 3. But who knows? I mean, brand new staff in Houston. They have to get players that fit the system. I think D'Amico Ryans is, they're 99% probably going defense here. Underrated point, Mike. Underrated point. That's a really, really good. Man, I'm happy you brought that up. That slipped my mind. So who's on the board for Indy? Well, I guess they have their choice. Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. Yeah, great point. So I think for one more season, I'm okay with Whitehead there. I just want a third developmental safety behind Whitehead and Clark. I do think Whitehead in the second year of the Saleh system will improve, But man, I got to be honest, he was a bit disappointing last season for the team. So, I don't want to completely say, oh, yeah, we're totally fine, 100%, no questions asked. But at the same time, he brought in on a multi-year deal. He was a guy that Saleh and Joe Douglas identified last free agency period. All right, here comes Goodell. So I'm okay with Whitehead for at least one more season.
The Arizona Cardinals have traded the third pick to the Houston Texans. With the third pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Will Anderson.
Oh, Will Anderson. Will Anderson's going to Houston. I like the pick, man. I like the pick. I think Anderson, he moved all around the defensive line last year. I think if you're just looking at the numbers, yeah, you could say, they went down. But at the end of the day, they were still good numbers. He was double teamed a ton last year. Will Anderson's an absolute beast. I love the pick. I think he's a high floor, high ceiling guy. Well worth the third pick. And Houston's walked away with CJ Stroud and Anderson here. Although we don't know. Does anybody know? Good stuff, bro. Does anybody know what the Cardinals got in return? Should I be watching on ESPN or NFL Network, by the way? Yeah, they had to give up a lot. I feel like. I wonder if Houston gave up like a first next year. Oh, here we go. Trade terms. Texans are sending 12-33, a 2024 first round pick, a 2024 third round pick to Arizona. Well, they get pick 105 too. To me, this is a win for the Cardinals. Reload the roster. Actually, you know what? It's a win-win for both squads. Houston as well. I mean, like K-Dude's saying, it's an A so far. I'm really liking this. I like it for both squads. I dig it. Yeah. Coulter next quarterback here. Yeah, you got to think so. Like Levis, Richardson. If you had your choice between those two, who would you take? I think you can do a lot with both. But I think I'm going to go Levis because I don't trust with Richardson. I want him to sit at least a year. And I don't necessarily know if I want to see Minshew out there for an entire season. If the Colts had like a solid backup or a solid veteran on the roster, I'd feel really, really good about Richardson there. But if Richardson's like in a situation where he's playing in week 2, week 3, I just don't want him to. I want him to, have time on the bench to season and develop. Yeah, you're gonna say Richardson. I think really you're splitting hairs. It really comes down to, what position would you rather opt for, offensive line or wide receiver? But more news. Man, I don't know how far behind I am from you.
And who did he work with in Philadelphia? Jalen Hurts. Who did he bring the best out of? Jalen Hurts. So he would be looking for a quarterback that could do similar things. But the Colts are expected to take a quarterback. And Shane Steichen, their new head coach.
Okay, so I think Schefter's just talking about. All right, here comes Goodell. Levis or Richardson here. I don't know who it's going to be. I think, man, if I had to take a guess, I'm going to say Levis, but I'm not 100% sure. But I do like Steichen a lot. Hendon. Yeah, it was funny enough. I was talking to my buddy literally right before I kicked off the stream, and he said Hooker, it was his favorite guy outside of Young and Stroud. Yeah. I feel like because Levis had an entire season with Liam Cohen at Kentucky, he's more ready to play. Also, has more experience too at the college level, more starts under his belt. But I do think I think both guys, Levis and Richardson, have tremendously high ceilings. I don't think any pick would be wrong if I'm Indy, but if I was a Colts fan, I think I'd opt for Levis here. But just because Minshew's on the roster, I don't know how I would feel about. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not a fan of my. Yeah, dude, running back. That's another position on this Jets squad that's absolutely loaded, man. Brees, Carter, Bam Knight. They just released Ty Johnson. I think it was because of a steroid issue. Not 100%. I didn't do too much digging into the situation, but yeah, I've done a lot of vids with Buffalo Jet fan Kevin. I've actually never talked to Joe before. I got to reach out. 5 seconds. Damn, I thought it was like a good minute behind. Minute or two. So, yeah, on my screen, the Colts pick is in. 10 seconds. Yeah, these picks are flying, man. These picks are flying.
One would assume you're about to see the future of quarterback play in Indianapolis selected here in this draft at this moment. We've seen 2 quarterbacks go off the board in the first 3 picks. Are we about to see the third?
Billy, man, Skroncy's a beast. So safe, such a polished player. Oh, Anthony Richardson. I almost knocked everything down. Anthony Richardson's going to Indy. I didn't think they would do it. I didn't think they were going to do it. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm going to say this, though. Steichen, such a good resume. If I'm Richardson, I'm extremely excited to get to Indianapolis. By the way, 2 big-bodied wide receivers in Pittman and Pierce. Big catch radiuses. Lob it up to him. Let's go, man. Let's go, Indianapolis. This is sick. Yeah, he called it. Who's my favorite all-time Jet? Revis, Pennington, Cromartie. I like Kerry Rhodes a lot at safety. Santana Moss, Lavernius Coles. Yeah, dude. Hamlock. This is great. And a lot of people were talking about that too before the draft. Like super unpredictable. I wish they had the layout. So crazy enough, my buddy is actually he co-hosts a show or on ESPN. So he's at the draft, he's backstage, and he might have some opportunities to interview some players and stuff. And he's shooting me texts throughout the throughout tonight. I haven't really checked them too much. But yeah, no, I'm hoping he gets some cool interviews. Curtis Martin. Yeah, beast. Bart Scott, beast. Do you think of Bart Scott more as a Jet or a Raven? I honestly wish the Jets would have came James. Yeah, that whole thing was super weird. The whole James Robinson thing. I mean, you give up a pick, you land him, and then you proceed to like immediately not use him after Breece Hall goes down. I don't know. It was just super weird, and like even you could tell with like Robinson in his interviews that he just didn't. It almost seemed like he just wanted to get out of there. Like, what was the point of this trade? I don't know. It's just totally strange. Where's he at, by the way? Did he sign somewhere, or is he still out in the open market? Jim Leonard, big time hitter. Him and Eric Smith back, the safeties. Love that tandem. Then we brought in Poole, I think the year after. Rodney Poole, Cleveland, could be mistaken. No way, dude. You're at MetLife. It's freaking sick, dude. I really want to go to one of those things. Like my buddy Dalton, UCF Jaguar, goes to the Jag Stadium. I've streamed with him the past couple of years. But he has to be up like super, super early tomorrow. He's back in school, so he has to be up super early. And then I have a friend coming into town tomorrow for like my birthday, and I haven't seen him in so long, a year maybe. So I'm super pumped up. So and it just didn't work out this season with me and Dalton, but no. Long story short, he goes to the Jags games or the Jags stadium to watch the draft. So. And it's like packed in, drafts on the Megatron. It looks crazy. Should have went up there this year.
So much about this night is thanking those who helped shape the journey. And there's an image tattooed on your right arm. Tell everybody what job and life means to you.
Yeah, that definitely seems like a lot of people kind of have that mindset, man. It's just like take the best overall player, let's hit a position of need, and let's just keep it moving. Let's build this thing around Aaron Rodgers. Don't overthink it. Don't do anything crazy. There definitely does seem to be like a certain level of calmness amongst Jets fans regarding this year's class. Yeah, I think the Bears make sense. I think the Titans make sense. I think the Patriots, unfortunately, make sense. Lamar Jackson's new contract. So what is it? I think it's 5 years, 265. 5 years, 265 with 185 guaranteed. It's obviously so much money, but I will say this: the longer you wait for these quarterbacks, the longer you wait to pay these guys. Like I remember a lot of people were roasting the Bills for selecting Josh Allen, or not selecting Josh Allen, for extending it right to the big money deal when they did, because he still had a good portion of time left on his deal. But in the end, if you have that guy and you feel confident about him moving forward, the best option is just to do it now, bite the bullet, get it over with, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're in like a Lamar Jackson spot, right? Where you have a guy who could potentially be disgruntled, a guy who's requesting a trade, he's going public with him, guys are signing, in the meantime, bumping his price tag up. So Lamar's the highest paid player now, correct? Jalen Hurts was just the highest paid player whenever he signed his deal. If Lamar would have signed his deal before Jalen, I think he would have probably gotten a little bit less. So it works out for Lamar. He's not complaining. But from a team perspective, it's smart to, if you have the guy in place, just lock it in, bite the bullet, get it done. Because 3 years from now, that player is probably going to be like the 6th or 7th highest paid QB in the game. So picks in for the Seahawks. But that's just my take on it. New England, James Robinson. I forgot about that. New England. John Vilma, beast. Yeah, who's the Seahawks taking? I'm gonna say Jalen Carter. I don't think they go Levis. I don't. Who do you guys think?
Because your lives are forever entwined. Love entwined.
So my buddy who's there is like right near the Houston section. Just keep taking quarterbacks, man. Push those OTs down. Defense. I'm going to say Jalen Carter. Yeah, Jalen Carter, I think you look at what the Seahawks lost in or on the interior of the defense. Quentin Jefferson just signed with the Jets. Al Woods released him. Interior D-line, I think, makes a lot of sense for Seattle. And Jalen Carter is arguably the best player in the draft. So that, I definitely Definitely could see that happening here. Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I remember when Pat Mahomes signed his deal. I don't remember what the exact terms were. I think it was a 10-year contract. Oh, yeah, Wilson's still on the board. Wilson's still on the board. Either one of those guys, I think, will go to Detroit. Either Carter, Witherspoon, or Wilson. I mean, if you can get Wilson and Hutchinson on either side of the defensive line, that would be insane. You could address I mean, they have a couple of young defensive tackles on the inside. Here's Goodell. I think it's going to be Jalen Carter. Let's see.
In the 2023 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Devin Witherspoon.
Devin Witherspoon from Illinois.
Oh, there he is. He's a consensus All-American from Pensacola, Florida.
Witherspoon. So what's crazy here, I did not see the Seattle Seahawks going with corner. But on the flip side, Witherspoon is actually one of my favorite players in the entire draft, if not my favorite. A hard-nosed corner, big-time tackler, wraps up in an open field, just can really, he's like an old-school player, like my type of defensive back. Can follow the number one man-to-man coverage. All right, here's some highlights. I thought Witherspoon was going to Detroit here. It's freaking crazy. How far is Carter going to fall? Yeah, I love Witherspoon. I prefer Witherspoon over Gonzalez from Oregon. Yeah, not taking Levis. Man, I'm super behind here. JC, what's up, dude? Matthias, what's good? Tyree Wilson. Who, if you're the Lions, who would you take? Wilson, Carter, Gonzalez? Vegas can take Levis, though, at 7. I'm looking at the board here. So Atlanta's at 8. That's another team that I feel like makes a lot of sense for. Yeah, Witherspoon's a stud, dude. He's one of my favorite players in the class. Oh, I was not expecting Seattle to take him, though. It's been a lot of curveballs so far, but this was, to me, the biggest. No. Okay, dude, I don't think I'm going to take Gonzalez here. Again, I don't think it would hurt the Lions to take Gonzalez. They traded Okuda away, already really thin, not a ton of production on defense last year. If I'm the Lions, imagining Hutchinson and Carter on the same defensive line for Detroit is insane. But Wilson just having 2 bookend edge rushers on extremely cheap contracts is super enticing as well. Damn, either way, Detroit is in a freaking fantastic position here. Corners, yeah, Seattle. Seattle, man, that's a team that they just have corner after corner after corner after corner. Come in, produce. I mean, Shaq Griffin was solid for him. DJ Reed was solid for him. Crazy. I did not see that. Coming. Yeah, this is how it saw us did last year. Vegas has to go defense. There's a lot of talk. I actually watched a ton of interviews and press conferences with Dave Ziegler, Raiders GM this offseason, and McDaniels too. There seems to be a lot of, they continuously brought up quarterback draft, the teams in their division having luck with Mahomes, obviously with the Chiefs, Herbert with the Chargers, having luck drafting guys in the top of the draft. And there's a lot of speculation that, hey, 4 quarterbacks that come off the board in the top 5, unless the Lions trade back or take Will Levis. I do think Levis could be in play for the Raiders. I think he should be in play, quite frankly, because that way he could sit for a year, really understand and learn the Josh McDaniels system, assuming he doesn't get fired. You have Jimmy G there to start the season. He's been in this position before where he's been able to lead the way, teach a young quarterback the ropes. I think Levis makes sense to the Raiders. I do. But also the Raiders need so much help on defense. I mean, if Carter's on the board for the Raiders, I mean, you're looking at Chandler Jones, Max Crosby on the outside. Carter's an interior D lineman. I do think he would fit the system for what Pat Graham wants to do defensively. But we shall see. We shall see. JC, love the channel, dude. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And like I've been talking about like throughout the stream here. I appreciate everybody that's kicking it. I know it's not some big, like super popping off live stream or anything like that. Just kind of hanging out, chilling.
See? Now they're protected.
Yeah. Lions friends want Jalen Carter. Yeah, my buddy, one of my best friends is a Lion fan. Let me text him right now. Man, I have like I'm gonna have to find his number. He got a new phone. Jets should trade back. Yeah, I agree with that. I think unless a top tackle's there. If a top tackle's there, I'm turning the card in. Paris Johnson, Skoronski, Roderick Jones. Tackle draft watch. Trade back at more. I don't know. I'm stuck at commercial. I don't know if you're talking about a trade now. Cardinals trade up. Schefter again. Here we go. Trade alert. Cardinals are at 6 now. They could go get Wilson or Paris Johnson. Gosh, Arizona. Well, first of all, what do the Cardinals give up now? What do the Cardinals give up to move up now? Will Levis have the top 10 of the Raiders? I don't think Jalen Carter is going to be out of the top 10. Yes, but Tennessee could take him at 11. Or, if you're the Falcons, are you 100% sold on Ritter? It's another. Man, what are the Cardinals? I got to text my buddy Kyle. I can't find his number. Yeah, he's always getting new phones. All right, here we go. Lions get 12 and 34. 30. This deal, granted, I don't know who the Cardinals are coming up for. My guess is Paris Johnson or Wilson here. But, man, the way this draft is panning out and understanding that Levis is still on the board and Witherspoon is off the board, I think I love this move for Detroit. You're slotting back 6 spots, and you're getting the third pick in the second round. That's awesome right there. Trying to think who they could target in the second round, though. Brian Branch to the Lions if he falls.
The 6th pick to the Arizona Cardinals. With the 6th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Paris Johnson Jr.
Paris Johnson to the Cardinals. Damn, let's go. He's freaking out.
For this former 5-star prospect out of Cincinnati, Maryland to Illinois, he started every game at right guard.
Ritter's ATL's future. Would you take Ritter or Levis? But I guess that's not a fair argument because I guess the question is Ritter and a weapon or Ritter and a stud defensive player at 8 or Levis. That's the yeah, Paris Johnson. Damn it. This was my number one offensive lineman for me. It's not super surprising. They're doing what Kyler, if that report is even true, they're doing what Kyler wants. This was the guy who I really wanted New York to get. Safe player, pass protection, multiple positions, coming from an offensive scheme with the Buckeyes that translates really, really well to what Hackett's going to call for from the offensive line. Athletic, can you move in space? Can you pull well? Things like that. If you're the Raiders here, 6 minutes left, what the heck do you do? Gonzalez is on the board. Levis is on the board. Carter's on the board. I think I'm going Carter, honestly, if I'm the Raiders. Crosby, Chandler, and Jalen on the defensive line. Nuts with talent. Give me 1 sec. I gotta go get a tissue.
And he's going to work at his craft. That's the thing. Arizona needs those guys. They need chiefs, as you call it. Not Indians. They need chiefs. They need people who are going to set the tone. He will set the tone.
6 picks have been made so far. 5 of them either from the SEC or from Ohio State, including the big man Paris Johnson, who was just selected moments ago.
All right, 5 minutes left for the for the Raiders. Or sorry, 6 minutes. Raiders took Carter off the board. Jalen to the mid-teens. What about to the Bears, though, Jalen Carter? Because Paris Johnson's off the board now. If you're Chicago, that was the favorite to go. Carter was favorite to go number 1 overall. You can essentially move back from 1 to 9, get more picks this year, future picks, DJ Moore, and still get the same guy that you were sitting there at that you were projected to get at least spot number 1. That would be nuts. Bears will take Skoronski, Broderick Jones, retreat down. What pick is it? So at least for me, I'm at pick 7, 4 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock. Could we get Carter? I mean, I want to say there's a chance. But I just feel like the teams picking in front of the Jets are just they all fit. Like I could see Carter being in play for, the Falcons, for the Bears. I don't know. New England, I'm not 100% sure. So one offensive lineman is gone. I'm trying to think for the Jets right now, like realistic picks. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Skoronski, Broderick Jones. I think those are like the top 3, no specific order there. And Jalen Carter too, of course. But what's interesting here, what's interesting about this, the way, like how everything is panning out with like the Texans trade up, Cardinals moving back, then back up front, Richardson going to the Colts. If you're a team on the clock right now, like the Raiders, all these teams coming up, if you're like mid first round, late first round, that's fine. Witherspoon going to the Seahawks. Like if you're a team like right now, like the Raiders, the Falcons, the Bears, you're probably like looking around the draft, the war room, saying to yourself, like, dude, this is not how this has been planned. Everything is like totally unpredictable. Situations are playing out that we didn't really think were possible, and it's exciting. Say they take Will Levis, yeah. Jets can't draft an OT. What about Brian Branch? I would like Branch. People, you look at it, what he was able to do at Bama. You look at how he projects to the next level. You look at the positional versatility. Picks in for the Raiders. No trade here. I like Branch a lot. Production in the SEC. Received great coaching from Nick Saban. But he had a bad combine. And, like, since then, like, people are saying, like, oh, round 2, late round 1. I like Brian Branch a lot. And I personally don't like to put a lot of stock into the combine. That's just me, though. But when I watched Branch back at Bama, to me, he was a high floor player. I don't think that he's going to be like this project or this guy that's going to need, a year to really like find his groove. I do think he makes sense for the Jets at in the first round. I just think 13 might be a tad bit too high based off of draft projections. But this draft is as we're seeing right now, totally unpredictable. Levis again, yeah. I love Roderick Jones. Bijan Robinson. I think the running back room is just so stacked, though. That's the only thing, man. Like, if we didn't have Breece Hall, if we didn't have some of these guys, like taking the pressure off of Aaron Rodgers is like so good. But we're fine there. We're fine at running back. It's a good problem to have, though. Sure. Jets are in a good position. Yeah, I mean, I think right now there's 4 players on the board right now for the Jets that all feel really, really good about. Again, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Roderick Jones, Peter Skoronski, I think Darnell Wright, Jalen Carter. But I do think Carter can go here in the next couple of picks. By the way, Wilson is still on the board. Wilson to the Falcons to me makes sense. Yeah, too high for Branch, 13. Leaving G, it's easy to pick me. Yeah, that's whatever direction. Yeah, that's a great point. Yes, he selected the offensive rookie of the year, the defensive rookie of the year, but both picks were in the top 10. So I've seen a couple comments here and there, basically just saying like, yeah, it was specifically from Packers fans, like Sam, hey, great job, but they were top 10 picks, so your concern is definitely valid. Only want Branch and trade backs in there. All right, here we go. Raiders, Goodell.
The Las Vegas Raiders select Tyree Wilson.
Oh, well, hold up. Tyree. Good pick for the. I like Wilson a lot, but Crosby's on a massive deal. Chandler's on a massive deal. I guess you have the mindset of, you know what? We have to get after Herbert. We have to get after Mahomes. Denver is coming, in the building with Sean Payton now. Russell Wilson, I know he had the down year, but I don't see Russell Wilson having the same exact season or getting worse from last year with Sean Payton at the helm. Wilson does fit what Graham wants to do defensively, though, which I like. My question is, though, I guess you can never have enough pass rushers either, but they have a lot of money invested in ends and outside linebackers and whatnot. Like, there's a lot of money invested there. Although Chandler Jones didn't have the most impressive year. And of course, you can. Well, I was going to say maybe best player available mindset, but obviously not if Jalen Carter's there. All right. Thank you, Nicolette. Chances Jets trade back. I'm going to say right now. Oh, no, we have 15. I was, for whatever reason, thinking 13. I think right now there's still the 4 players. Once these 4 players are off the board, I'm moving back. JSN, Skoronski, Broderick Jones, Jalen Carter / Darnell Wright. I think, if you want, there's a chance that Darnell could slide back of round 1. But the only thank you too for the donation too, by the way. I really appreciate it. You didn't have to do that. But the only thing is, you have to have a team that's willing to come up, right? But Will Levis is falling, so we'll see. I'm trying to think of teams like in the bottom of the first round that could, or maybe like top of round 2 that would be interested in coming up. Minnesota potentially, but like, do they really want to give away more picks? I don't know. Chicago won't take Levis. Eagles won't take Levis. Green Bay won't take Levis. Tennessee at 11. Stupid, man. Stupid. Falcons, 4 minutes and 40 seconds left here. Actually, never mind the picks in. Gosh, what are the Falcons? I thought Wilson was going to be a really, really good fit for Atlanta. 100%, man. 100%. Kansas would be decent. Dom, man, you're so right. I was joking around with Dalton, UCF Jaguar, a couple days ago on the phone, and we were talking about like, dude, like we're both so used to picking like top 5, top 10. He's picking Jacksonville's picking like what, early mid-20s. Like it's crazy.
You know what's sad? People on Earth die when they're like 50.
Are you about to die?
I'm not 50.
What knee are you talking about? It's,
What should we do next?
that's another, yeah, man. That's another thing too. You know, where does Hopkins wind up? Buffalo, Kansas City.
You got issues, quote.
I could see this place like honestly exploding, like the fan base like going crazy if Goodell comes out and it's like, oh, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs are trading whatever round 2 pick for DeAndre Hopkins, and the place just going nuts.
So rest in peace. Let me bring you my expert. Those are for my car keys.
Such a rich history. This won't do well.
I want Skoronski. Yeah, he's such a safe player, man. You know,
What about this?
the thing that's funny with Skoronski is like people compare him to AVT all the time. You know, guard, tackle. Some teams view him as a guard, some as a tackle. I think with me, although you know we look at interior right now for the Jets, AVT, Connor McGovern, and Laken Tomlinson, who's on a big contract. I found myself like a lot last year saying, man, like I wish I had five AVTs on the O line. And Skoronski, you know, has a lot of the same traits. A lot of this, not saying he's the same exact player, but a really, really similar skill set and versatility that he does bring to the table. So Skoronski going to the Bears. I could see it. I you know, protect Justin Fields. I think Smith and Jigba make sense for the Bears. The Bears, man, they're in a fantastic situation. They could go JSN, Jalen Carter, Skoronski. I think Broderick Jones might be a little bit too high at 9 here. Man, with I don't know what the Falcons like. Wilson to me, Gonzalez too, or no, Falcons. AJ Terrell. They just added Okuda. I'm trying to think of what else the Falcons can do here. Jalen Carter. I don't want to completely rule out Will Levis. I don't know. I don't know what the Falcons are going to do. Oh, man, I'm really behind. Bijan Robinson, that's another guy, too. I was talking to my other friend who's a big Falcons fan, and he was buying the hype with Bijan to Atlanta. We have to take Jalen Carter if he's there. We'll see, Dylan. We'll see. I don't know if you're talking about to Atlanta right here or, you know, to the Jets, but Speed Doctor, what's going on, bro? How are you, man? Thanks for stopping in. Skoronski is going before 12. Philly also, man. Philly makes sense for Skoronski. Damn it. Skoronski makes sense for New England, for Philly, Chicago. But I'm hoping he still falls. Got to keep the faith. I didn't think the draft would play out like this. So
For the Atlanta Falcons pick, I'm joined by Chris and Shane from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City.
Bijan.
Chris and Shane are a true testament to the power of mentorship.
Right.
With Big Brothers Big Sisters of America is part of our work on social justice.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
The Falcons
13.
are big-time supporters of the organization, and they're thrilled to have Chris and Shane making
I think they're at 12, actually.
Okay, guys.
Right? Because they moved up with Arizona. All right, here we go. Here's the Falcons pick. JSN.
With the 8th pick in the
draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson to the Falcons.
Arthur Smith strikes. Wow.
Damn. Damn. Dude, this is, as far as, us Jets fans here chilling, we're making out pretty good. Still, all four guys still on the board. Jalen Carter, JSN, Skoronski, Broderick Jones, Darnell Wright still on the board. Looking pretty good. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 6 picks. Yeah, man. What's interesting is Joe Douglas did not even seem to care about going from 13 to 15, which gives me trade. Bears are trading pick to Philly. Bears are trading their pick to Philly. By the way, so that means unless they must have moved back to 10, right? So Philly's coming up one spot. Jalen Carter to Philly makes sense. I mean, they just lost Hargrave to San Francisco. Chicago is making a – they're killing this draft, man. Chicago. I mean, you just look at the haul, like bullet point, like how many things that the Bears have acquired since the offseason with their free agent signings, like Tremaine Edmonds just leading the way on defense. They get DJ Moore in this trade, a veteran wide receiver, immediately comes in and is the team's best wideout. They get more picks this year. They get future picks next year. They just moved back now, getting more. I'm assuming more draft assets. Let's see what Schefter says here. Yeah. How are you guys feeling about Nolan Smith, too, by the way?
And we talked about when we had the leadership.
Good call.
Jordan Davis. Who does Jordan Davis play for now? We need that being Jalen Carter, the Philadelphia Eagles. How ironic would it be if the Eagles go back and try to recreate the tandem that was
Chicago, you're chilling. I mean, they're going Skoronski or Jalen Carter. Like either one of those guys, I think makes, it's an A draft if you're Chicago. Both positions of need, both really, really good players. You can make an argument. Carter is not only just the best defensive tackle, he's the best player in the draft. You can make an argument Skoronski is the best offensive lineman in the draft. One will be there if you are the Bears. And we still don't even know what the Eagles gave up to Chicago here. So, did they get a 4th-round pick, a 5th-round pick, a future pick? Philly has to be sold on somebody because you don't move up. You don't give away stuff to move up one selection. You don't do that. Not high on Nolan. Athletic freak. Love Nolan. Hey, so no, we're at pick 9. Eagles pick is in. They actually moved up one selection. Bears are at 10, Titans at 11, Lions at 12, Packers 13, Patriots 14, Jets 15. So we're good. Brees Hall is a beast. Love Brees. Why would you trade up one slot if Chicago is dealing? So say Chicago's still at 9. They could be on the phone with Philly saying, hey, somebody else is coming up. Somebody else is, super interested in, trading up to 9. And then they're really relaying back to Philadelphia, basically, saying, hey, your guy could be off the board here. And then Chicago can just pivot and then say, trade with us instead. We'll just swap picks. Because Philadelphia and Chicago are, right next to each other at 9 and 10. So the drop down isn't as low as whatever team Chicago is talking to, or it could just be a complete bluff from their end. Just get out of work. Yeah. No, we're good. We're good. Draft has been on for like how long? I don't even know. Over an hour, I think. Chicago's going Skaronski. Yeah, Northwestern guy. Okay, here we go. Bears got a future 4th round pick. It's worth it. It doesn't matter. The Bears still. This is awesome for Chicago. Really, really good. And for Philadelphia, I mean, look, it's a win now team. It's not a bad scenario by you're hardly giving up anything. But for Chicago, it's a young team. Keep building. Future. It's a nice mid-round pick for next year. Granted, it'll probably be late, but it is what it is. Moving back one spot. Yeah, it's looking like it's probably. What time is it now? 9:20. Yeah, it's looking like it. That makes sense, Colin. Good call. Will Levis to Tennessee, Sean. I forgot about Will. This is good, though, that a quarterback keeps getting, a quarterback is still on the board here. Also, hold on.
To the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 9th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter to Philly.
Tackle, Georgia.
Damn. Okay, so one of the 4 is gone. But what I was going to say before, if the Titans don't take Will Levis and he's on the board at 15, we could be in business for a potential trade back. Somebody could want to come up, whoever it is. I was reading an article that the Saints would be interested. I'm not buying it. Just brought in Derek Carr. I think Tampa Bay makes sense for a potential trade up, depending on the cost. But that's kind of what I'm hoping for right now. So Carter's up the board, but we still have Skaronski, still have Smith and Jigba, still have Broderick Jones, and Levis is still on the board here. If Levis is there, all right, picks in for the Bears. What's weird is like this draft started really, really quickly. I felt like we got through like the first 5 picks within 30 minutes. Philly will be taking Carter. Yep, good call. Where the Eagles were there. Hey, there's a chance. But there could have been a 3rd team involved, like behind the scenes that we don't know. I like Branch a lot. I really, really do. I just don't know based off of projections if 13 is considered too high. You could be in a position where you're the Jets, where you could trade back with Tampa Bay and select Branch there. Now all of a sudden you got more draft picks in the mid rounds or future picks or whatever the trade would look like. But I mean, dude, if you're Philadelphia, like if you're an Eagles fan, you're sitting here with a top pick in the draft. Credit the general manager for that alone. And then you somehow land the arguably the best player in the draft at a major position of need. Philadelphia's front office, man, like they know what they're doing. It's one of the best in football. Year after year, their free agency side. There was a little bit of a rough patch, with wide receiver, with Arcega-Whiteside, Rager, and whatnot. But man, Philadelphia, especially in the trench play. Gonzalez is still on the board from Oregon. Gonzalez can make sense for New England. Detroit, Gonzalez makes sense there too. Yeah. Pats would take Levis. There has been some rumors that they really, really like him, and he did go in for an official visit. Jets will trade back with Detroit for 18 and.
Jalen, you're arguably the most talented player on the best team in the country. unpredictable. How would you describe just the range of emotions that you've gone through over the last 2 months?
Yeah, insane, man. Insane, Sean.
The Eagles guys got on the phone with you today.
I'm texting my buddy who's a Falcons fan, Bijan.
And you've got former teammates there already. What does that mean to you?
Okay, so Jalen Carter's talking right now. Just picks in for Chicago. How do you feel about Broderick Jones versus Darnell Wright? I think Wright is the safer player right now. I think he's more of a plug and play guy at right tackle. Although I do like Broderick Jones at right tackle. I think you look at experience. There's not, comparing it to Wright, there's not that much. How many starts does Jones have under his belt? 13, I believe. I love the upside. I love the raw power. I love the aggressiveness. Obviously, it's a team need for the Jets, and he's a guy that the Jets can build around. But I do think because of Wright's experience, he's more of the plug-and-play guy immediately at right tackle. How far would you go back if Levis is there at 15 for a trade back? It depends on who's wanting to come up. I don't want to go back too far. I think somebody's knocking on the door. I don't want to go back too far because I'm not in love with a ton of players in this class. My goal would be to try to get future picks, right? Try to get a first-round pick next year. I would probably say the farthest back. I mean, I guess I really don't have a set pick deadline because there's a lot of like Brian Branch. That's the guy that a lot of people are talking about right now. Like, if the Jets trade back to whatever, I don't know, just throwing out a number 25, 26. Probably go get Branch there, and he's a day one upgrade at safety, a position of need. What does it look like for the Jets? Any O-linemen still on board? Yes. Skoronski, Darnell Wright, Broderick Jones, Jackson Smith, and Jigba still on the board. But the Bears pick's in. It's been in for a while now. All right, Bears.
Select Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, Tennessee.
Bears picked Darnell Wright. Titans, Lions, Packers, Patriots, Jets. I like Darnell Wright a lot. I do. But Skoronski, Broderick Jones, Smith and Jigba for the Jets, sign me up for that every day of the week. Let me ask you this. What would you guys rather do? Trade back from 15 if Levis is still on the board, assuming Tennessee doesn't select him here at 11? Actually, never mind. The pick came in like 30 seconds. But then again, I mean, man, you look at the Titans' offensive line. They are decimated. They need a ton of help on the O-line. But one would assume it's probably Levis here. Because it's probably not like Levis might. I don't know if he's going to play immediately. Sorry, not taking him over Skoronski. Yeah, that makes sense. I think Skoronski's the better player. I do. Titans are either going Levis or O-line. They lost Taylor Lewan. They lost Ben Jones. Banged up all over the place. New offensive coordinator. New running game coordinator. Running back coach. Both guys, ironically enough, are with the Jets now. I think Skoronski makes sense for the Titans. Broderick Jones makes sense. Really, really powerful, really explosive off the line. Makes sense for what the Titans want to do scheme-wise. But I just feel like there's been so much smoke with the Titans and quarterback.
is the NFL Draft from Kansas City.
Give me one quick sec. Gotta go blow my nose again.
Maybe someone who can do it again.
Because before 11 a.m., I like to keep it toned down and simple, just like Taco Bell breakfast, with fluffy eggs, sausage, and a crispy hash brown. Isn't that right, co-host Ron?
Are we on duty for
I don't know. Hey guys, you have a question. Is it bad to swallow the line? Did you?
No, no.
Decide. Line question.
If buildings could tell you they could be more
I don't know if you're trolling. I don't know if this is for real, but and if it is for real, try not to spoil the picks because I like being surprised. Trade back and take DT. Can't see from Pitt, I'm assuming. So reach him up. Yeah, that's not a tip to beauty of the totally fair. Totally fair, assessment. You look at Wright, although he's ready to play immediately, although you can plug and play him immediately at right tackle. A lot of experience. I think top 10 is a little too high. Honestly, I thought 13 was a bit too high. When we were talking about him with the Jets, where's the 10's a bit too high, but hey, you know what? I mean, if you're Chicago, like they acquired so much in free agency in the draft and set themselves up beautifully for next season as well. Sounds like there's a hurricane outside. So if you're Chicago, you're getting an upgrade. That's the bottom line. I believe Tevin Jenkins moved inside a guard. You need to protect Justin Fields. You need to get him weapons. They already added DJ Moore. You're adding the future 4th-round pick. They're going to have a high 2nd-round pick, I believe. It's the first pick in the 2nd round, which is 32 overall. Let me try to find the exact. Oh, man, I'm super, super behind. Yeah. So if you guys have the pick, don't spoil it. I don't like to be spoiled with it. Because then it's just like every single reaction is just like boring. John, dude, I appreciate that, man. No sweat at all. I appreciate you stopping in. We're just hanging out. We're chilling. JSN, speed doctor, load up at wide receiver, and just roll. I guess it kind of would remind me of like the Cincinnati Bengals, where you got Boyd, you got Chase, you got Higgins. I'm thinking Gibbs makes sense though for Cincinnati with this whole Mixon thing. You can move off of Mixon, save money, and roll with Gibbs. Gibbs to me is extremely underrated. I remember when he was a big time prospect coming out of high school, goes to Georgia Tech, and was he was an absolute playmaker, but Georgia Tech just wasn't winning. Like, transfers to Alabama and just freaking balls immediately. We should take Will Levis. Going to be a long time before we have a chance to find some. I just. Although that, your statement does, it's logical, it makes sense. I just can't see Joe Douglas taking on Rodgers' deal, trading away draft picks to go land Rodgers. Took Zach Wilson a couple years ago, passed on so many good NFL players. Zach Wilson is Joe Douglas's guy. I can't see him taking another quarterback. Like, that's so much money, so much draft assets, so much, valuable goods being thrown at quarterback. All right, so here's the Titans pick. I think it's going to be Skoronski, because we're talking about it earlier. Let's see.
The 11th pick, the 2023 NFL Draft.
Sounds like the screen is going to get ripped off the place. All right, yeah. So Skoronsky, Northwestern. Damn it. It's down to 2 players. Broderick Jones, JSN. Darnell Wright's gone. Skoronsky's gone. Paris Johnson's gone. Jalen Carter's gone. Wilson is gone. If you're the Green Bay if you're the Packers, do you go JSN or do you go Kincaid or Mayer? I don't think you could go wrong with either. I think although Kincaid is flat out amazing and Mayer is an absolute stud, I think if I'm the Packers, I would go JSN and then come back in round 2 and get the best tight end there from like Oregon State or Lions picks in. I'm going to say Gonzalez from Oregon. So many players that I would like for Detroit are gone with Carter, Witherspoon, Wilson. They have no need to go out and, address offensive line. You're fine there. Running backs, wide receiver. Jameson Williams is suspended for the first. I guess it really comes down to how highly the Lions view wide receiver, view Smith and Jigba. Who's picking at 12? So the Lions are picking at 12 because they traded back with the Cardinals. Here we go. Schefter, Lions have 5 picks of the next 40. 5 picks in the next 43 picks. That's crazy, man. Detroit can really load up on depth defensively here. So you can make an argument, just go BPA. Defense BPA. Schmidt's at 15. If we didn't have Connor McGovern, I would consider it. But because we brought McGovern back on a super cheap, mad cheap contract, just over $1 million, I think I would rather target center in round 2. Man, starting to get a little nervous now. What are we? 12, 13, 14, 15, we're only a handful of picks away. I like Kincaid too, JC. He's a beast, but all right, here's the Lions pick.
The Detroit Lions select Jahmyr Gibbs, running back, Alabama.
Lions just went with Jahmyr Gibbs from. Good for the Jets. Very good for the Jets. Gibbs is an. I think I just was talking about it. I think Gibbs was being underlooked throughout this entire process. He's a beast, but the Lions have Montgomery. They just brought him on a 3-year contract. They have DeAndre Swift. I was thinking defense, man. I really, really was. I love Gibbs. I do. But I don't necessarily know if 12 at a solid position for Detroit is the right move. They reached. All the tackles are going. Yeah, it sucks, man. I'm worried all the good offensive linemen will be gone before our pick. Okay, so we got. So we got 2 picks left. We got Green Bay with 5 minutes left on the clock. We got the New England Patriots at 14. There are 2 players that I think make a ton of sense for the Jets at 15. Given where we're at now. Broderick Jones, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Skoronsky's off the board. Tyree Wilson's off the board. Paris Johnson's off the board. Jalen Carter. Darnell Wright. Damn, dude, the Lions are hyped. Gosh, man, this is getting nerve-wracking. And by the way, when the Jets pick, I'm going to film my reaction to it too. So I'll have that for the channel, like, as its own separate video. Cansey, that's yeah. Or if JSN and Roderick Jones are off the board, trade back. Levis is still here. Green Bay is not going to take Levis. So you can maybe see what's up with Tampa, see what's up with Minnesota on a potential trade back. By the way, I appreciate everybody stopping in and hanging out, saying what's up. That's a really, really good point, man. K dude with Gibbs. Yeah, at least the Lions traded back though, and they were able to get some more capital. If they took him at 6, but what's interesting, I guess they maybe just preferred Gibbs over Bijan. Also, another thing too. By the way, Packers pick is in. Damn it, who are they going to get? I'm going to say Kincaid, Zay Flowers, or JSN. Gosh, man. Kalijah Cansey, yeah, it's a position of need. And if we go with Cansey, we're just going to be a full-out attacking defensive line. Like, just get after the passer. My only concern would be defending against the run, because I don't know how effective Cansey's going to be at the next level with stopping the run. But as far as a pass rusher goes from the defensive tackle spot, that would be absolutely insane. I think at this point, Broderick Jones is the pick for me. If Cansey will not stop the run at all. That's what I'm like. He's undersized right now, but like projecting him to the next level, stopping the run, I think might just be an issue with how the Jets play in the 4-3. And knowing that Quinnen Williams, I just want that big run stuffer, the Sheldon Rankins, if you will. But you can make an argument and say Al Woods is still out in the open market. I think he makes a lot of sense for the New York Jets, and he took a visit with the team, so there's obvious interest. He would fit the system coming over from Seattle. He's a veteran player who would be cheap. Lucas Van Ness is a guy. Does the him being a backup bother you at all? I watch a lot of Iowa, and he didn't start, but when he did play, the guy was an absolute animal, a freaking tackling for loss machine. High upside. I just don't know if it's worth it at 15. For the Jets right now, I want a player that can come in and impact the team right away. Because we have Aaron Rodgers, like if Zach Wilson took like a big step forward last year, we have the mindset of like keep building. But because we have Aaron now, and it's looking like 3 years, we need impact guys. I mean, what was one of the reasons why Rodgers got fed up with Green Bay over time? I don't think the Jets are going to, do something like this, but it was because they constantly went with players that weren't really at positions of need, or they weren't really, at wide receiver. Of course, the Jordan Love pick, that kind of felt like the nail in the coffin. We looking flowers to the Jets. I mean, man, route running machine, man. I take the safety. Brian Branch, I'm assuming. All right, here's the pick for Green Bay.
With the 13th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Lucas Van Ness.
Yes, Lucas Van Ness. To Iowa, or from Iowa going to Green Bay. So that means Broderick Jones or Jackson Smith and Jigba will be on the clock for the New York Jets at 15. Man, now that I'm thinking about it, like, does New England go with Kincaid? or Mayer. I think Kincaid to New England does make sense. Pats seem to draft strange. Yeah, they definitely do their own thing. They have their own way of doing things. Gosh, man. You know what's interesting too? Although Van Ness does fit the mold as like a Patriot player, like on the D line, Iowa's defensive system, New England's defensive system, there's a lot that translates. But did Green Bay love Van Ness this much to pull off the pick swap with the Jets? Was he the guy that they had their eyes on the entire time, or did somebody else that they really, really liked go off the board beforehand? Because obviously, like, this draft is gone. How nobody has predicted this, how the Jets have, or how this draft has panned out so far. Man, I get it, right? Premium position, high upside, get a guy in the building who, you know, you feel really, really good about, can develop. Patriots trade pick to Pittsburgh. Why are the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up to 14 to select a tackle? I guarantee it. Broderick Jones. I bet you. Because they're not going to move in front of the Jets. Washington isn't going to take, I don't think Washington's going to take a tackle. All right, Pittsburgh just traded up. I'm probably super behind on this. Damn it. All right. It's either Broderick Jones or Smathen. Yeah, that's the silver lining, man. That's the silver lining. By the way, 4 minutes here. Just want to quickly just say thanks, everybody hanging out. Today's my birthday. Chilling with you guys. It's free. This is super, super cool, man. I don't go live much, but I'm planning on going live a lot more. If you guys are into it, I don't know. Oh, man, who's left? JSN's left. All right, so it's looking like the Patriots got pick 14. Tom Pelissero is reporting that the Patriots get pick, or sorry, Steelers get pick 14. Patriots get 17 and 120. Gosh, I have to go get another tissue real quick. Steelers taking Jones. Yeah, man, that's... You don't trade in front of the Jets. The pick is in. You don't trade in front of the Jets. A handful of spots to go select a guy that you don't love. You don't do this... I don't know. Who knows who the Steelers are going to pick? My best guess, though, it's probably going to be Broderick Jones. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. Man, I'm super behind on this. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. Ted, BD, Timothy, Mercy. Dude, you guys are awesome, man. Oh, I got to go get a tissue, but picks in. Yeah. Frick, man. 14. I appreciate that, Jaden. Thank you, man. Thank you. Get the best player. Pick O-line, second, third. JSN at 15. This could become a reality here. By the way, Gonzalez is falling. All right, I got to get a tissue real quick. We got the paper towels. We're good. All right, here we go. Here's the Steelers pick. Let's freaking go.
The New England Patriots have traded the 14th pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I like the full yellow Steeler logo.
The 2023 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Broderick Jones, offensive tackle, Georgia.
Broderick Jones to the Steelers. Thank you, Adam. Do we go with Jackson Smith and Jigba? Thank you, Q. I appreciate that, bro. Jets are on the clock. All right, trade back. I'm thinking trade back. We got 7 minutes here. 7 minutes. Will Levis is still on the board. The Buccaneers make sense for Will Levis. The Minnesota Vikings makes sense. Minnesota Vikings make sense for Will Levis. Kind of a mouthful, but Levis can play in the NFC North. I'm just going to I guarantee you Joe Douglas is working the phones. He's trying to move back. The 4 offensive linemen are off. But you know what? John Smith and Jigba's there. You know. God. I just really wanted offensive line help, man. Understanding that we have Aaron Rodgers now. We traded away one of our second-round picks. We don't have a third-round pick. Although, I'll say this. Donovan Smith in free agency, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. If he's healthy, I would like him. I think he could step in right away at left tackle for us. I just don't know how much money he's going to command. How's the heart rate? Where's the comment at? All right, here we go. What's the heart rate at? Heart rate's at 100 right now. I'm getting texts from friends saying, LOL, no offensive lineman for the Jets. That was my that was my number one go-to, go-to thing. But as Edward's saying here, JSN. McShay just said what I said. I'm trying to trade back. Yeah, try to recoup future picks. Like, if nobody's there, bail the hell out. Like, McShay's talking about Kancey here, and I get it. I get it. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Jackson Smith and Jigba could be a reality here. Or do they go with defensive line? I mean, Van Ness is gone. Will Anderson maybe. Mo Kiper's talking about Will Anderson. Watched a lot of him at Iowa State. I don't know. Is the pick in yet? No. We got 4 minutes left here. Dude, this is for – damn. Nolan? I feel like Nolan Smith is a guy. Yeah, I feel like Saleh likes the athletic players, right? He likes the guys with the high upside because he feels like he could get the most out of them. I mean, you look at some of these picks that he made or that the 49ers made while he was there. And Nolan Smith, when you look at him from an athletic standpoint, checks all the boxes. The speed, what was it, a 4.4 40, some insane number. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of texts. Yeah, they're on the phones. They're still working. Yeah, they're still working. Yeah, no, I don't think the Jets are going to draft Levis. Oh. Oh, my buddy. Hey, what's up, dude? Yo, I'm actually in the middle of streaming. Did you like the Gibbs pick? All right, yeah, I'll call you back. That was my buddy. He's a Lions fan. Did not like the Gibbs pick. JD call. Schmitz, yeah. I mean, gosh, if we didn't have Connor McGovern, man, that would have. I think it would make sense at this point, but because because Connor McGovern's in on the cheap 1-year deal, I just don't know if we'll take it to like a backup center who can maybe play some guard like year one this early, like in the first round. I want an impact player. Smith and Jigba for me makes sense, although I do want a tackle. It's just not. All right, well, the Jets are, according to ESPN, are on the clock with a minute left, but the entire room is hugging and clapping. I don't know if they traded down or they selected a player here. We'll see. Gosh, what are the Jets gonna do, man? What do you guys think? Jets are celebrating, yeah. Why not take the best tight end? Makes sense. Kincaid's on the board, Mayer's on the board. I like both of those guys a lot. But all right, Jets picks in. What's the heart rate at? Let's see. It's loading. Jets pick is in. JSN. What is it at? 123? JSN or Flowers. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of texts from like my friends and family, kind of just half roasting me, half asking what I want the Jets to do. Wide receiver. Oh, sorry. So the question came up before. Actually, you know what? I actually got to film a video of this instant reaction here. Kincaid makes sense from an on-field standpoint, but from a money standpoint, from a depth chart standpoint, I just don't really know because we restructured both Uzama and Conklin's deal. So we essentially, in other words, it's harder to pay those guys off in years. Is Goodell coming up? I don't know. And we still have Jeremy Ruckert on the roster. So we have 3 tight ends that will definitely be here next year. I don't know if taking another guy at 15. All right, I'm going to be recording a video too. All right, so New York Jets on the clock here, or sorry, picks in at spot number 15. The top 4 offensive linemen are gone. Paris Johnson, Broderick Jones, Darnell Wright, Jackson Smith and Jigba is on the clock though, and I think it could be in play. Obviously, there was the report before the draft. What do you guys? I'm in the middle of a live stream right now. What are you guys thinking? I appreciate that, Alan, man. Thank you. Christian Gonzalez. Yeah, Christian Gonzalez is still here. Will Levis is still here. I think personally the Jets were trying to move back because, I mean, for me, Minnesota made sense to come up for Will Levis. Tampa Bay. You said it best, J-Del. Brutal suspense. All right, here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Goodell. I'd also like to thank the NFL, the New York Jets, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Northeastern New York for giving me this opportunity tonight.
Nolan Smith, Christian Gonzalez. Gosh, I don't know who it's going to be.
With the 15th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the New York Jets.
Here we go.
Select
Will McDonald, Iowa State is the pick for the New York Jets. They have him. I'm looking at Will McDonald right now. What 5 years of experience, been with Iowa State for a long, long time. I've actually watched a lot of McDonald. He can bounce all around the defensive line. This is a guy who racked up a ton of sacks back-to-back years, not this past season, but the previous 2 years. Tackles for loss, athletic as hell. I think he's a high floor type of player, and I also like the versatility on the defensive line. 6'3", 240 pounds. The one thing I like about McDonald, my type of player though, he's ferocious. He's super, super violent. All right, cool. Here comes the highlights. When he brings quarterbacks down, like, they don't want to get hit. They don't want to get hit. He's all over the place. You can line him up wherever. Will McDonald is picked for the New York Jets. Let's go. Joins Breece Hall. Another Cyclone, too, by the way. Another Cyclone. Shout out to Matt Campbell. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets. Man, how do you guys like Will McDonald? Defensive line depth. But you know what? If you can't... Damn, disaster. WTF, huge reach, WTF, yikes, question marks, reach. Why, who, what? Kid's a legend, there we go. Yikes, what? Why do they take him over Nolan Smith? To me, they're two different types of players, though. They have McDonald listed here as a linebacker. Granted, he wasn't, you look at that style of system that they ran last year with the Cyclones. 3-3, like, there's a lot of. Hey, what's up? All good? Cool. Feel free to come out and stream with me if you want. All right. Picks in for the Commanders. WTF, Will McDonald. Who? Horrible. Let's go, bro. Why? I got to be on. I think for me right now. Oh, I actually have to upload this video. I think what probably ended up happening was because this draft went so. It did not go according to plan. Nobody predicted a draft like this. Gibbs going, all these different trades, Anderson, Texans moving up, Cardinals moving back, all these different things. I think the Jets were sitting there at 15 trying desperately to move back, which is why we saw, 50 seconds left on the clock? And they couldn't do it. And Darnell Wright wasn't there, Paris Johnson, Skoronski, Broderick Jones. I see some people talking about Nolan Smith, but it's a massive reach. He was a consensus second rounder. Need that linebacker help. A little of these comments. I like McDonald. Is he high? Sure, but he might be a steal. You never know. Hey, I like the optimistic mindset, man. I think right now, Will McDonald, the thing I love about McDonald, he has a lot of experience. And I think in today's day and age, the experience thing gets overlooked quite a bit. You know, if a guy is in college, Will McDonald's been a steady starter for 4 years, but he's been a part of the program for 5, and I do remember him 5 all those years ago. He didn't play that much, but I do remember him in the games, as a true freshman. But I think with the offensive lineman off the board, I don't know though, because you can make an argument for Kincaid, you can make an argument for Jackson Smith and Jigba. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are shocked in here, but you know what? I'm gonna roll with it. McDonald's a guy who, granted, it's the Big 12. They throw the football a lot. Edge rushers, defensive linemen, they're gonna have a ton of opportunities to get after the passer. Granted, I completely understand that, but when you watch the Cyclone system, it's not like he's just winning one-on-one battles on the outside, athletically speaking, and that's pretty much it. The defensive line versatility, matched with the experience, matched with the upside, is something that I really, really like. With that said, though, I think Paris Johnson would have been great. I think any of the top 4 offensive linemen would have been great. I think JSN would have been awesome. I saw a couple of people, hoping for Van Ness. Disappointed. Does this mean we're out on Colin? So I don't think so. I think we're talking about 2 different positions. I'm watching it on ESPN. I'm not sure if you guys are on NFL Network or watching it, in other, in other spots. But Will McDonald to me is not. To me, he's not like a stand-up. He's not going to be dropping back in coverage like from a linebacker spot. To me, I view him as a defensive lineman. He's definitely not going to be like a backup to CJ Mosley or something like that. But to me, I think, man, I hope not. I hope not, Dave. McDonald's more of a project with great talent. Will McDonald A+ pick? We don't need John. Yeah, JSN was the fun pick, Freedom, I wouldn't say that this is like a disaster because, again, there are likable traits. There are likable traits with McDonald. I think the thing is what everybody's kind of – I hate to say this because we had so much luck last year in the draft, just the board, the way it fell to us and everything like that. I just feel like the board did not pan out in the Jets' favor. Like, nobody saw Darnell Wright going top 10. Man, people thought Levis was going to be gone in the top 10. By the way, the Commanders pick just came in. It's Emmanuel Forbes. Not even paying attention to this, to what's going on. Cornerback from Mississippi State. Commanders, they passed on Will Levis again. New England's sitting here at 17. I think they'll go Christian Gonzalez. No, stop. It's a disaster. It's just not a scheme fit. Jerry, that's the thing. It's like a lot of his, a lot of the Iowa State system is 3 down linemen. But I guess in the case that we're sitting in right now, we have to bet on the upside. We have to bet on Salah's and Ulbricht's ability to get the most out of him on the defensive line. Because, from a physical standpoint, he does check a lot of boxes, and he is ferocious, which I really, really like. With that said, though, I still want Al Woods in the free agency market. I don't know if this takes Keanu Benton out of the mix with their second rounder. Man, I think right now we'd probably have to go O-line in round 2. I just don't see the Jets coming out of this draft right now without a tackle, right? Like, are we but I will say this before, I know there's 880 in the chat. I appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out, chilling. And like I said to before, it's my birthday, so there's no place I would rather be than right here hanging with you guys. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, no, what I was going to say before. If the Jets don't come away with a tackle in this class, I want Donovan Smith, Buccaneer, who's currently a free agent. I believe he's still a free agent. cannot have enough pass rush. Trevor, I mean, you said it best, dude. Like in Salah's system and how Ulbrich and JD want to do things, they're going to be rotating guys in. All right, here's the Patriots pick. I'm assuming it's going to be Christian Gonzalez because they need help at corner. Yeah, Christian Gonzalez here from Oregon. Kind of a slam dunk pick. I was kind of thinking Detroit is maybe hoping that Gonzalez was going to go there at spot number 18. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, man. You guys are the best. Ryan. You know, when I look at Smith and I compare him to McDonald, I just view them as two different positions, you know. I know on the screen they're both like linebackers, but when I think about Will McDonald, I think about him on the defensive line in the trenches. A movable chess piece, inside, outside. You can line him up at DN, you can line him up at D tackle, you can move him around. When I think of Nolan Smith, I think of like a stand-up. Obviously, both guys are extremely athletic. But if that was the debate in the war room, I'm not pissed, right? If it was Nolan Smith or Will McDonald, I'm not like, what are we doing? Like, honestly, I don't know. It's tough. I like both guys, but I was really hoping for offensive linemen. But hey, Will McDonald, let's trust JD. I mean, dude hit an absolute home run last year in the draft. Panic pick, in my opinion, Joseph. Whenever you see that clock ticking down to like 50 seconds or whatever it was, you kind of think like in the war room, they're like, what's going on? Like, this isn't how we planned it. So, or they're on the phone trying to trade back, but nobody wanted to come up. I don't know. I like Will McDonald. I loved watching him back at Iowa State. As far as the scheme fit goes, I don't know. He's not playing in a 4-3 with the Cyclones. But at the end of the day, Lee, dude, I appreciate that, man. Don't feel no pressure to super chat or anything like that, man. Like we're all just kicking it, man, chilling. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. That's still, man, like that. It's still awesome, flat out awesome. The fact that the New York Jets are being talked about as a top 3, top 4 team in the AFC, and we haven't even played a game yet, haven't even had the full draft class yet, says something. And that's something that like all of us Jets fans can kind of like dig our heels in. Like A-Rod is a Jet, he wants to be here. Everything is set in stone. Everything is solid. Now we can hit the ground running. And this is also, another point that we were kind of talking about beforehand. And Lee, I appreciate the donation too, by the way. I wanted a player that is going to come in and play right away. I didn't want a developmental guy in the first round. That was the mistake that Green Bay has always they're kind of like New England, over at least with the Gutekunst regime. Like they'll take players that you don't think they're going to take. Granted, he has done a solid job. Like there's a lot of guys that he has picked that I do really like. But yeah, I wanted a player that could come in, step in immediately and go right away. But, it does make you think too, like everybody was talking about the Smith and Jigba rumors. He's still on the board, by the way. Where does Njigba go? It's sorry, I'm trying to upload this video too. 3 minutes on the clock here for Detroit. Man, actually, you know what? Let me flip it over to NFL Network. I don't know which network is better. Picks in for Detroit. I guess I'll stick with ESPN because I've been watching it all night, but I wish they had like the big board, right? Where they had like 50 prospects on the screen. Because like when you're in the thick of it and you're like watching the draft, like sometimes you forget exactly like who's on the clock. But the pick is in for Detroit. The JSN was there. Oh man, I'm super behind again. McDonald's going to be good. Bit disappointed. NFL Network is better. The ticker stays up. Yes, spot on Texas Texas Toast, dude. The amount of rotation in on the defensive line is huge, and because we lost Nathan Shepard, because we lost Sheldon Rankins, we need bodies here. Yes, we picked up Quentin Jefferson, which is good. I like that acquisition. Another cheap deal. I do really want a big run stuffing defensive tackle though. Get somebody in who can consistently stuff the run. I don't want to be in a position where we're relying on Quentin Williams to do everything. We still haven't even paid him. He's like subtweeting Joe Douglas. I don't know if that was like him trying to be funny or if he was like actually like taking a shot at him or what, but who had Will McDonald going top 15? Who Mel Kiper actually had him going 7th overall to the Falcons at one point. Does this mean we move JFM inside? Oh, gosh, Franklin Myers. I don't know what the exact plan is with JFM because he's getting paid so much money. Gosh, Franklin Myers is the biggest like enigma on the defensive line for me personally. Top of the board, offensive tackle tomorrow. Where are we picking? 43, correct? Damn. Okay, so we're not in the top 5, especially because that first round pick is forfeited too. Man, is there? Can we go mock from North Dakota? I don't. I gotta. I think the bottom line is this though. Yeah, we win now mode. I think the bottom line is this: if the Jets don't come out of this with a tackle, we have to go sign someone. No ifs, ands, or buts. And look, I get it. The Rodgers thing has to be worked out. The Quentin Williams extension has to be worked out. But I just don't feel comfortable right now rolling into next season with guys coming off serious injuries at premium positions. If Rodgers was 33, I'm like, yeah, take BPA, whatever, like fill needs here and there. But make sure we get solid players, best players in this draft. Because he's 39, 40, because he's considering retirement or was, maybe he still is, I don't know. Jury's still out. We cannot waste a season with him getting sacked left and right. We cannot waste a season with the running backs unable to, create holes. Connor, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Is there a tackle out there to make a trade for? Jonah Williams, but man, too much money in my opinion. Plus, we have to give up more assets,
With the 18th pick, the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jack Campbell, linebacker.
Lions just drafted Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa. This was somebody who's expected to go in round 2. They could have maybe selected Campbell with their second round pick. By the way, I think they're picking 34 because of the Arizona Cardinals pick. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock here. 19 minutes, 5 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Will they select Will Levis? I don't know. We'll see. Dude, I love the old school NFL highlight music. I don't know why they took it away. But like in normal highlights, it just I don't know. I just remember being a kid, like coming home from the Jets bar and, watching the highlights like right before Sunday Night Football. What about the back from UCLA? I like him a lot. I just don't think we really need running backs. Yeah, okay, dude, you're spot on. Look at that, JSN. He's still on the board. This is crazy. This is, I mean, if he's on the board for the Chargers, I could see LA swooping him up. Addison is still on the board. All the wide receivers are still on the board. Flowers is still on the board. Will McDonald's a chat. Let's go trade up for a wide receiver. I just don't like the idea. You know, I get it, but I just don't want to give up so many picks. Right? We gave up the 7th to the Ravens. We gave up the 3rd to the Browns. We gave up a 2nd to the Packers. Next year's essentially 1st to the Packers. I don't want to trade more picks to go up and move up. I think if we really, I mean, who knows though? Like at the end of the day, if the Jets do in fact trade up for Smith and Jigba, I'm not going to be sitting here complaining. You know, we have seen a lot of movement though, up and down this class or up and down the board. Very true, Billy. Very true. I think the organization holds Najral Dean and Sherwood in really high regard. Is he a DE or a linebacker? I'm confused. So I don't know how the Jets are going to look at him at the with their squad, but based off of what I watched at Iowa State, he was hand in the dirt. 3-3-5 defense. Lined up all across the defensive line, inside, outside, all over the place. He had 2 back-to-back seasons where he had double-digit sacks, and one season he was absolutely unblockable. Tons of tackles for loss. I don't know. God, I just don't want to see the Jets. I don't like selecting guys that like you draft them for their physical upside. Not saying that this is what happened, but like this is kind of what happened with Quentin Coples back in the day, where they like draft somebody. All right, here's the Bucs pick. They draft somebody and they're like, hopefully he can work in our system, but we don't really know. And it turns out it doesn't work.
In the 2023 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select
Kalijah Cansey to the Bucs. All right, so I guess the Seahawks could go Will Levis at 20 if they really, really want to. I'm not sure though. But now Cansey's off the board. I think JFM is moving inside. And by the way, Mercy, I appreciate the donation, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. And Fotino, thank you, man. You think we're done today? I think so. I think so, if I'm being honest. Connor, dude, I appreciate it. Do you think we let go of Lawson to create cap space now with this move? Happy B-Day. Thanks for the great content you provide. Thanks for the kind words. And I appreciate the donation, man. I do. I don't think we let go of Lawson. I do think we're going to ask him to restructure the contract, though. But I also – we have a lot of money invested on the defensive line, factoring in Franklin Myers, Lawson. Jermaine Johnson was a first-round pick. Quinnen Williams extension. Now we have Will McDonald coming in on another first-round pick first-round contract. Sorry, I'm just trying to upload this video of just the straight reaction. How do I turn it off private? But I appreciate the $10, man. No need to super chat if you guys don't want to. We're just hanging. McDonald does have great potential. Yeah, is he going to be an outside linebacker? No. I mean, thinking about the way the roster is like constructed right now, I think this is a move where they were my best guess is this. I think they wanted offensive line. I think the JSN news was probably smoke. How are you going to drop a report saying that the team could trade up for Smith and Jigba, then he's on the board at 15 and you don't select him? So I think that was probably smoke. The offensive linemen are gone. You're trying to trade back. Nobody's willing to come up. Obviously, nobody. The Vikings, the Bucks weren't interested in Levis. The Seahawks felt like they could get him at 20 if they even, like assuming that they even do want Levis. He's here on the clock at 20. Ravens just brought back Lamar. He's not going to Baltimore. I would say Minnesota makes sense back of round 1. But if they're not coming up, who's you have to have a trade partner willing to come up. Does a team like the Giants move up for a wide receiver? Maybe. But if they feel like they could get a good wide receiver at the back of round 1, why trade more assets? We're at pick 20 right now. 4 minutes left with the Seattle Seahawks. And yeah, JFM must be moving inside. Yeah, 4 minutes left for the Seahawks here. And a receiver is still not off the board. So the Giants are kind of smart for not wanting to trade up. Yep. Spot on, Jesse. For me, I'm looking at Will McDonald with the New York Jets as a defensive lineman. Hand in the dirt. Try to get him on one-on-one matchups. Hope that he's going to grow and develop over time, get better in the system. Work off of guys, quitting, because the bottom line is we have a lot of talent. By the way, a lot of tight ends still on the board too. Mayer, freaking beast. Kincaid is a freaking beast. There's a lot of talent still on the board here. Damn. There's a lot of unexpected picks. Darnell Wright, Witherspoon at 5. That was a shocker. Who did Arizona Johnson? I think they have to go O-line for the second round now. I wanted Charbonnet's a beast, man. He's going to be one of those guys who I feel like is going to be a big fantasy player next year wherever he lands. I'm assuming he lands on a playoff caliber team. Like I could see the Bills being in play for Charbonnet. I'm going, Mike. I'm going offensive tackle. Oh, what's up, dude? Good luck to the Isles too, by the way. I'm going offensive tackle. We addressed defensive line tonight. I'm flipping it back over to tackle if there's one there. If not, let's trade back and get future picks. I'm fine. If somebody wants to trade, in the second round, to recoup like a second rounder next year or something like that. If the Jets aren't sold, there's no pick or there's no point in panicking with a pick and just selecting a guy you're like, all right. There's no point in doing that. I have the worst allergies in the world. I appreciate you guys hanging in. All right, let's see. Mayer would be great if he slides down. I love Mayer. Like I know the hype is with Kincaid. He's the big, high potential pass catching tight end guy, but Mayer's just so smooth, so solid, blocks well, hurt teams, over the middle of the field, crossing patterns too. I know he's had a bit of a dropping problem, but I don't know. When I look at Mayer, I just look at such a smooth prospect. I thought he was in play for Green Bay, but Green Bay, I believe, that now is 2 second-round picks. So Sean Tucker, do you go to any Jet games? So I picks in too, by the way, for Seattle. So I actually live in Florida. I live in Tampa. So I didn't go to any last year. I did go to 2 the year before that. I try to make it to the Dolphins one every year down in Miami. Last year I wasn't able to make it though, but this year I definitely want to make it up at least once to MetLife Stadium. But something I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, obviously it's not like I could just drive 30 minutes up the road, scoop up a ticket. It's like plane tickets, rental car, hotel. Got to kind of plan ahead. So it's kind of a process to get up there for a game, with the situation and stuff like that I'm in. But no, I definitely want to make it up for at least one, and I'll probably go down to the Miami for the Dolphin game. And I don't think the Jets the Jets don't play Tampa this year. But what's cool is I'm like 10, 15 minutes away from the Bucs training camp facility. So I actually I've never been to a training camp before. Jets, Dolphin, never been to a training camp. So I really want to just say one day I'm just going to head out there, go check out Baker Mayfield. Can't see now too, so it should be cool. Could we go wide receiver in round 2? I could see it if someone falls, but if the Jets had their pick between all of them at 15, no trading involved, and they were panicking and they didn't select one, I don't know. Man, it's just a sea of Chiefs jerseys here. I don't know if they would take one in round 2. Yeah. Brian, dude, I appreciate that, man. That would be clutch. Dude, I had one a couple years ago. It was the Monday night game, Jets-Browns at MetLife Stadium, where I think Simeon got hurt in that game and Luke Fall came in. Odell caught that slant for like 70 yards. That's true, man. Juwan Jones is still there. Where's he projected to go? Let me see real quick.
Now to make the selection, please welcome Bethany Uribe.
Oh, dude, Juwan Jones is 6'8", 380.
The 20th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Jackson and Jigba, wide receiver.
JSN to Seattle Seahawks. Man, Seattle's getting guys that can just step in, play right away, loading Geno Smith up. I mean, Metcalf, Lockett, Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker. Jeez, man. Jeez, Seattle's doing their thing. Yeah, good call. Good call. Dude, Nikki, that's an awesome mindset. That's really, really cool. JSN to the Hawks, who cares? Shit, yeah. I like Hardman, dude. I like Hardman. I'm right there with you, Lee. I don't think you're going to leave the Super Bowl champions to sign a 1-year contract with a team that was like borderline playoff team. That was a borderline playoff team. If you're not promised a bigger role, I think Hardman's going to obviously, it was before Aaron Rodgers. Now he's in the mix. So, I'm assuming every weapon's numbers are going to go up. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Hardman. This is all, yeah. That's also a really good point, man. I'm just happy JSN didn't go to New England. They need help at wide receiver. I thought they were going to go Flowers. What even happened? So they traded back. That's right. It got Gonzalez at 17. I think the Chargers probably go Addison here or Zay Flowers. I think Flowers might make a bit more sense. Zane, dude, thank you. I appreciate the man. I do. Yeah, Zay Flowers is still there. I don't know how Gonzalez fell so much. Yeah, like I think it was one of those things where it was like we were seeing guys go that weren't really expected to go this early, like Darnell Wright, Gibbs. When you have guys enter like the top 10, top 15 like that, guys are going to get pushed down. The run on wide receiver starts now. That could be a really good call. Give me 1 sec. I have to let my cat out. Dude, Seattle's last class freaking killed it. My computer's gonna die. Can McDonald play linebacker? I view McDonald more so as a defensive lineman, like kind of like what we were talking about before. Let's try this. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out some technical stuff. Computer's going to die. I thought it was plugged in this entire time. All right. McDonald's a good player, but I don't know. Bad pick. Yeah, that kind of seems to be the consensus right now. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. You know, if this is Joe Douglas's guy, if this is Salah's guy, and they couldn't trade back and you couldn't get an offensive lineman, I think the question really was, do you go with a wide receiver? Do you reach on an offensive lineman? Or do you take a really athletic defensive player, which is either McDonald or Nolan Smith? There we go. Cool. That's the thing. I do think we could have traded back and gotten Will McDonald, but again, it's like who's going to come up? Because Will Levis is still on the board. Smith and Jigba just came off the board. I thought Minnesota at 23. That was the team that was going to come up. And I also think Will Levis to the Vikings. That's my prediction. I think Will's going to go to Minnesota there at 23. Because Kirk is on his the last year of the contract. Can't get offensive line in the first round. Don't love the pick. Yeah, right there with you. Of course, you're going to support him. I'm excited to see what he can do. I watched a lot of him with the Cyclones, and I always loved what I saw. I never thought of him with the Jets, though, because A, we were stacked on the defensive line, and B, the scheme fits are a bit different. Coming from like the 3-3-5 system. So Chargers. Ooh, Quentin Johnston, wide receiver, TCU, LA. I thought he was going to go to the Buffalo Bills. Lee, I appreciate that. Yeah, bottom line is Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. I think, it's Super Bowl. It's AFC Championship. That is my goal. That's my realistic goal for the Jets. And I've said that once in my entire life. All right, I think I'm back in. I don't even know if I'm live still, but sorry about that, guys. I don't know if a bolt of lightning hit the apartment complex or what, but
I don't even know if I'm live still, but
I don't know. The entire place lost power. It was out for like a good 20, 30 seconds here. I don't know how many picks went by. Oh, Baltimore, 22. I don't even know if anybody's still in here. What's up, Joseph? Thanks for chilling, bro. Raven Zay Flowers. Got you loud and clear. Yeah, I appreciate it. Literally everything flipped off. Girlfriend was in the shower, and I don't know. It was just like, what's going on? And a little bit to kind of set everything back up. Let's see. Yeah. I'm really, I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, Lee. I don't want to, jump the gun or anything like that, but I legitimately think that he could break numerous Jets passing records for the team next year. Yeah. 3 straight wide receivers. It was Flowers, JSN, and Quentin Johnston. So who else is on the board? Addison. I'm going to stick with Levis. Yeah, I mean, if the Vikings go with a wide receiver, that makes sense to sorry, it's like Wi-Fi connection stuff. They lost Thielen, so they need somebody to come in and replace that. I mean, to me, the Vikings are a win now team. Like, there's so much talk about them potentially trading Dalvin Cook. And by the way, the rumors of that are to the Miami Dolphins, so I don't know. I don't get what Minnesota's. They got rid of so many players. No, I didn't. When I was trying to see if I was still live, I saw that the Jets were going live. Are they live right now? Oh yeah, okay. So it was a quick 8-minute thing. So they're probably not even in the war room anymore. If they're done, they're not moving up. Man. They called on the best pass rusher to the Jets release, Ty Johnson. Yeah, they did. So I think that was like a steroid. Something was going on with like the steroid thing. I don't know if that's like 100% confirmed, but I do believe it was I think it was like a PED thing. Yeah. So do you think AVT can be an all-pro tackle though, John?
He stuck by me and gave me his word, and he helped me through this opportunity.
Yeah, Lakin is just on such a big contract.
In this moment, how do you want to honor your mom? What she's meant to the journey.
I'm gonna say the Vikings here. Like I feel like the Vikings make total sense for Minnesota. I mean Levis makes sense for Minnesota because he has a full year to sit behind Kirk Cousins. He'd be playing in a dome. He's playing in a West Coast system, which is similar to what he ran with Liam Cohen a year ago at Kentucky. Kirk Cousins only has one more year on his deal, so you could kind of quickly pivot off and already have your option in-house, kind of like Jordan Love with Aaron Rodgers. I do love safety. It's my favorite position.
Since Lamar Jackson's first start back late in his rookie year,
Hmm.
the team is last in receptions per game, and receiving yards per game amongst wide receivers. Do you foresee that changing, Booker?
It's going to change. They want to open the offense. So they tried to run it down people's throats. That didn't win them a championship. So now they're going to play the ball that the Chargers are playing, that the Bills are playing, that the Chiefs are playing. We're going to try to score.
Yeah, that's the concern. It's not only will these guys get hurt again, but it's will they look like the same player before the injury. So Lawson's gone. I got to catch the Joe Douglas press conference too. And by the way, I got a sweet video plan for tomorrow morning. Talking about round 2, what the Jets should do there. Stressing with running back. Yeah. Hey, Billy, that's very that could very well happen. You know, I like Becton a lot. I just wish he could stay healthy consistently. Lawson isn't going anywhere. Yeah, he is. Hemlock, he is.
Yeah, to me, this pick has got to be a cornerback. They got rid of just about every corner they had, Patrick Peterson, everyone else. They need somebody that can cover. They were just about statistically last in every passing category.
Yeah, I mean, look at Derrick Henry with Tennessee. He's like the entire face of that franchise. Super. I mean, yeah, it's true, man. I'm gonna see who Minnesota picks here, and then I think I'm gonna wrap it up. And hop off and get ready for round 2 tomorrow. Because if Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh had their press conference, I doubt they would leave, do their press conference, and then like run back to the draft room and like see what's going on for like a potential trade up. I mean, I guess it could happen. So picks in for Minnesota. Let's see who it is. I'm gonna say it's Will Levis here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it. Yes, but not so much in round 1. I think it's more so round 2. But here's the thing: nobody has taken a tight end. Like Kincaid is here, Mayer's here, like, and it's kind of a paradox because the class is so good that teams think I could just get one later. So, you know, a round goes by and all of them are still here. So Jordan Addison, I could see making sense for Minnesota. Yeah. Brace Hunt, yeah. DeJuan Jones is the guy who I'm gonna really start looking at pick 43 now. So sloppy. You know, Ryan, I think so, unless the team really wants to go after a safety. Because Brian Branch is still on the board. And to me, that would make a lot of sense. You're going to love DeJuan Jones. Yeah, I know of him. I haven't done like that big of a deep dive into his tape or anything like that. Just kind of glossed over some of the basic, you know, stuff, but I haven't watched any tape. But I'm gonna do a deep dive tonight. Dude, 6'8" at tackle is humongous, and he's coming from Ohio State. Very similar blocking system that the Jets. Jordan Addison to the Vikings. How far is Levis going to fall? He might fall around 2, man. This is... That's crazy. That's crazy, man.
I'm not concerned about this. A lot of people have made something about it. Him only weighing 170 pounds, 5'11". Though for me, I look at it. He was my number 1 receiver in this draft. A guy that can play inside. A guy that can play outside. You talked about 2021.
He does.
He said, you know what? I'm going to leave Pittsburgh. I'm going to go play with a different quarterback. I'm going to go out west. I'm going to play with Caleb Williams. Guess what? He still went out there and he put up numbers.
I'm trying to think of where Levis can... Saints.
To meet the versatility where you can line him up and how he can get it up. You put him in the slot. And imagine a nickelback. Use that 4 points on a check.
Jacksonville's not. The Giants aren't. You see the Bills trading for D-Hop? I do. I could see Buffalo doing something like that. Oh, Jacksonville Jaguars are trading the pick. New York Giants. Who would they come up for? Jets are going to snag Levis.
Jordan showed that this year at USC. Last year, Pitt, much more inside work where he tore people apart.
Once again, that was tonight's prospect resume brought to you by Indeed. I'm being told we have another trade. The Giants will be on the clock when we continue in just a moment. Here's trading up with
Let's see who the Giants select. And I think I'm going to bounce out of here and really start doing some research on a couple prospects that I have my eye on for a video early tomorrow that I got to film. Assuming the Wi-Fi is all good over here. That's another prospect that I was just talking about, man. Good call.
There's a lot of anticipation leading up to the draft. My hopes is that I look the best there. Jewelry plays a big part. You know, it's the last step to making your outfit stand out. I like to be shining and blinking.
Yeah, Brian Branchman would be sweet at 43.
I can take over any room.
So I'm thinking about like 5 or 6 prospects.
Every time I look at it and think about
Realistically, that the Jets could land. The only problem is, man, we're like 10 spots out. More than 10 spots out. So, but then again, it's like, who could have saw the draft unfolding the way it has so far? So, all gas, no gas. I would say, so the Giants picks in. Brian Branch makes sense from Alabama, the top-ranked safety in the class. I think it's a pretty thin class at safety. Brandon Joseph, my guy from Notre Dame, but he's more of like round 4, round 5, third developmental guy. Branch to me is an upgrade immediately over this Jets or on this Jets roster. Hendon Hooker's still on the board. Great call, Charles. Forgot about that. No UCF. No, so me and him were talking about this a couple days ago on the phone. So I have a buddy that's coming into town for my birthday this weekend. He's coming in tomorrow night. And then he's actually back in school. So he has to be up like super, super early tomorrow morning at like some early, super early time. So I didn't want to go up there and kind of, you know, invite myself and kind of, I don't know, just, you know, be annoying, stand at his crib. Yeah, it's been crazy, man. It's really been crazy.
Are we on TV right now?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Right. Move JFM inside. I could see it. I mean, the problem is he's getting paid so much money, you know, so you can't just like, and he just restructured his contract. So you kind of have to keep him on the roster now, unless, you know, you could trade him, but I don't know. I don't know about a potential, like a trade at this point in time. So I think you almost kind of have to move him inside because you look at the depth at edge.
Wait, really? What about this?
AT&T's deal is back. Everyone gets a free new Samsung Galaxy S23 with a Galaxy phone trade-in. Any year, any condition.
Bye-bye. We're back in Kansas City. The 2023 NFL Draft is at quite a few trades, and we just had another. Adam Schefter, what are the details?
Well, Greedy, the Giants are trading a few picks to move up one slot. In the secondary, they've been looking hard in this draft, and this will be their chance by moving up one slot to improve their secondary. This will be the spot to do it, Greedy.
Well, we'll see, Mal, if that's the direction they go. We're coming off 4 consecutive wide receivers selected, which, by the way,
Hey, bro, don't let it like ruin your night or anything like that. Like at the end of the day, Will Anderson, we have to ask the question: are the Jets worse? No. Will Anderson help this team? Yes, he will. I don't think Joe Douglas, understanding the situation, knowing the position that he's in, knowing the position that the Jets are in, he's not just going to take a random swing for the fence and just say, whatever, we'll go with this guy. There must be a plan there. And I like Will Anderson. I do. I think 15 was probably a bit too high. I think probably in the 20s is where I would have taken Will. But if all of the guys that were off the board for Joe, according to his big board, were gone, I just would like him to trust his board, especially if you couldn't trade back either. So don't let it ruin your night, man. Yeah, dude, Pittsburgh, that pick kind of screwed us. Pittsburgh coming up. I had a feeling that they would move up for a tackle. There was a lot of reports that they really liked Paris Johnson. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen with him going 6th overall, but that kind of that was the shot in the heart. All right, let's see who the Giants pick here. Yeah. Although I do think Levis can move around quite well.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have traded
Yeah.
the 24th pick to the New York Giants. With the 24th pick in the 2023
Here we go.
NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Deontay Banks.
Corner from Maryland.
Maryland.
Deontay Banks. I actually like the pick, and it looks like we actually have another trade. My buddy just hit me up. The Bills are now on the clock at 25, so the Jaguars are trading back again. Let me hang out for one more pick here. And then I'm gonna get to work on another video. Yeah, dude, good call. Bills trade up. Banks is a beast, though. Like, he's super, super physical. Can play really well in press. I liked Banks. Obviously, the Jets don't need corners, but
Let me very quickly mention that we've had another trade here.
yeah, hold up. The Bills are on the clock at 25, and they're still on the clock at 27. Did they just trade future picks or something to come up and now have 2 first-round picks? Or is it just like ESPN not updating the graphic here? Anyway, 4 minutes on the clock. I'm with you. No, it's just late. Man, that would have been crazy. Yeah, you're right. Jacksonville just got updated. I was thinking to myself, like, what did the Bills just give up to move up to 25? And it wasn't. We got sauce. Jackson's on my stream. Yeah.
And if you want to keep the beard, use King C Gillette. The lineup of products
It does. You know what's funny is like this. Will McDonald does seem like a Packer type of. I mean, the Packers went out and selected Van Ness, another defensive lineman, high upside from Iowa. So kind of funny how that worked out. Yeah.
1 in 8. That's how many people have worked at a McDonald's who've made more famous fries and more kids' days.
Right. Phil, what's up, dude?
And no two shifts.
Duzable brought up a good point about Carl Lawson last year. That's a great point. That's a really good point, and I appreciate the donation, man. I really do. The Buffalo Bills pick just came in. Thank you. I would agree with that. McDonald to me is a defensive lineman. Like you're not going to select a guy at 15 and like have him drop back in coverage when like Quan Alexander's sitting out there. He would sign a, you could double Quan Alexander's pay from last year. It would be $2.2 million. Just re-sign him and draft a different position, right? And we have 2 young linebackers on the on the roster at weak side. So to me, Will McDonald's going to be playing on the defensive line. That's where he was in college, So great point. I believe the project will work. Oh, that I forgot about Torrance. I really, really like him, but we don't really need a guard. So what's your overall for this draft? Yeah, after this draft, not like tonight specifically, but like after the draft is like totally complete, like Sunday and whatnot, expect a ton of videos on it, right? Like draft grades, full draft breakdowns, all this stuff. I'm super excited. Of course, reactions to every draft pick as well. And I appreciate everybody hanging in, chilling. It's a tight end. Dalton Kincaid to Buffalo, maybe? Well, Knox is on a big deal. Maybe Buffalo can do like the 2 tight end sets. Damn, Levis is chilling. Yeah, that's true. I just, for me, it's just kind of like I don't want to move AVT because I feel confident he could be an all-pro guard. So I don't want to like risk it. But in the end, if that's what the Jets want to do, that's what they want to do,
She has a chip on her shoulder too.
Yeah, that's true. Running back to Buffalo. Damn, Joey Porter's still on the board. Miles Murphy is still on the board. Brisset is still on the board. Kincaid is still on the board. Mayer's still on the board. Levis. Jeez, man. Jeez. I think right now, Nicholas, it's looking like it's going to be Dwayne Brown. Outside looking in before training camp. Any scenario where you see us trading back up, I think we're going to be done for the night. Of course, anything, could happen, and this draft has been crazy. But, if Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh left the war room to go do an interview, I don't see them, like, running back and saying, like, all right, well, who got picked? We have to, like, make a trade up. It seemed like they panicked at 15 a bit. Here's the Bills pick. So I don't know if they're going to trade more picks to move back up. I think they're going to be sticking around 2. Here we go, Bills.
The Buffalo Bills select Dalton Kincaid, tight end.
Damn.
Utah.
Somebody actually called this. Dalton Kincaid to Buffalo.
At the University of San Diego, caught 19 touchdowns there in 2 seasons, and then found his way.
Damn. All right, well, that's exactly what I'm just about to go do, bro. Exactly what I'm going to go do. I think I'm going to call it. So I appreciate you guys stopping in, hanging out, chilling. Tomorrow I'm going to be live, I think, up to the point where the Jets pick. Like I was saying, my buddy's going to be coming into town. So he should be getting here tomorrow night. And I don't want to be – I'll see if he's down to stream. If not, I'll probably just end it. But that's going to be the plan. But regardless of the streams or not, I'm definitely going to be doing reactions to every single Jets pick individually. And then, of course, after the draft, expect a lot of stuff. So I appreciate you guys watching, hanging out. I don't know how long I streamed for. And, of course, we had the whole lightning thing. Thanks for the stream now, man. Thank you. I'll catch you guys later. Appreciate the birthday wishes, all the donations. No pressure to ever do that kind of stuff. But thank you guys. I'll catch you later. Will McDonald is a Jet. Let's go. Peace.